found TonyBasilio.com, home of the Tony Basilio Show. In just a few minutes, we'll be right with you with another award-winning, action-packed edition of your Tony Basilio Show.
AM, 99.7 FM. Translator W259AB. Powell, Knoxville.
Today's going to be a sit back and relax and let Jesse rob this train kind of Wednesday as we're live with you on your Basilio Show. It is a Wednesday, and a Wednesday unlike any other, because today on the program, you give me some video over there once we get a chance. Yeah, people got to see my pretty face. My friends at YouTube, they got to see my pretty face today. But today on the program, we got a lot. Kendall Rogers is going to join us on the other side. We're going to talk to him about what's going on with the Tennessee Vols. Baseball. Today is a day that the portal closes in baseball. It has been one incredible week in Tennessee football recruiting in a 5-day period. The Vols have picked up 7 commitments. There's more on the way. X is going to be by our recruiting analyst today at half past our hour. Something like that once we get done with Kendall. Then Watson Brown. The question for Watson Brown is, now that we're getting close with Joey football, how does this thing play out? When does Tennessee name a starting quarterback? Do they take 2 into the Syracuse game? How would he handle this for his dime and his dance floor?
We should hear something.
Should hear
He's
something.
He's muted
what,
himself.
Bri? Should hear something what, Bri? Oh, I muted me? Hang on a second here. You boys didn't even hear my intro. Guys, I'm all over it. But, Brian, thank you for telling me you were muted. You have no idea how good today's intro was. You guys have to go back and re-listen to it. But Dr. Sean Sinclair's here, and you just heard Brian Hartman's voice. Gents, are you guys fired up, focused, and prepared to get to Kendall Rogers here off the top? As Tennessee continues to make waves, Cinco, don't you dare doubt Tony Vols like you did last week, or that was me, on the Landon Mack situation. Don't you dare doubt Tony Vols.
Would never doubt Tony Vols, my man.
Let me
never
tell you,
doubt Tony B.
Let me tell you how in the moment Tony Vols is right now. There was a huge card over the weekend in UFC, and I was texting him during that card, and he ghosted me because he's a clown. He never does that. And today he comes up for air and he says, "Hey, man, I haven't had a chance to breathe. And the portal closes tonight, and catch up, blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, look, man, you're ghosting me, bro. I'm in my feels over here. Cinco, how exciting is it when you think about the football team adding a living, breathing playmaker on offense, this Legend Bay kid? Hopefully they can hold on to him, but even the credibility of having him on your list for a while, even if that's how it plays out. And who knows how it plays out with any of these kids. But what an exciting time in football recruiting. And then what the work Tony's doing in the portal. It's really, really fun to watch this stuff.
Well, baseball, it is fun. If I didn't have so much faith and trust in Tony Vols, I would be a little concerned from a number standpoint. Simply because it just seems like there's been a mass exodus of players, albeit Dylan Loy is the only one I can think of that's a key contributor. No offense to anyone else. Banky, however you pronounce it, forgive me. You know, he flashed a couple times as a freshman last year after injury, not so much. And then a lot of guys that were just kind of guys. I hope them to have great careers wherever they go. But you got the draft coming up. Some of the redshirt guys that were here last year have moved on that we never really heard of. And so I'm kind of excited to see how he's going to construct this roster because for right now, we got the draft. It just looks like we're at a low numbers, but maybe that's the way. And I trust 100% Elander, Vitello, Kivett, all those guys over there, Frank Anderson.
Well, the question becomes, what happens, right? What happens with regards to, they got to add some left-handed arms. I'm here to tell you, they're going to. I predict a loud boom here coming up. We'll see what happens.
Well, I'll say this: I'm sure there's others, but I know for a fact that you are tied in to the baseball information, and you have not been wrong. You have been 50-50 on a guy in years past, and it didn't work out because of money somewhere else. But having you say that that gets me really excited because you are rarely wrong with your baseball information.
Those 5 A5, this 5-7 commitment thing in 5 days for football is great to see, man.
It is. It's it's again. I'm not a Debbie Downer here. What I've learned now is I'm going to wait on until signing day. Because for one, I've seen it in Josh Heupel's system. A lot of these quote-unquote 3-star guys that get criticized on the chat boards, they quickly become 4 stars toward the end of the year.
Yep.
And then everybody, nobody takes back their panic, takes back their criticism. They have a track record of identifying quality players. I was encouraged to listen to yesterday talk about the young man out of Baylor yesterday. Mm-hmm. And how he's kind of, if I heard that right, he was kind of hidden down there, and yep. And they expect him to be fantastic. That's great. And then also is another reason I kind of do that is because we saw last year with Florida and some other people, there are people that get desperate and break the bank on some of these guys. So I'm not forecasting any kind of doom and gloom.
Yeah.
It is nice to see some trends. Means we all want to be wanted. We all want to have, stacked players on our team. And real quick, I went back and looked at the roster yesterday. You know what? There are a lot of very good prospects on this team. They may not have done it yet, but I was just going up and down, and there aren't a whole lot of – they haven't proven it yet, nor they have proven to be duds. But there are that roster's stacked with high-value recruits, and it's going to be imperative that these guys develop this roster. But the cupboard's not bare.
A lot of kids – listen, these kids out there that are firing me up, get me talking about 10-2 and this, that, and the other, and it's July, and I'm ready to do it. It's hot outside. Let's feel good about it. Cinco now getting pulled into the glass is more than half full, maybe 3/4 full, maybe 4/5 full for all we know. Kendall Rogers on the other side will join us on our TLD Logistics Hotline on our Champs Wednesday, presented by our friends in Kittrell. And listen, I'm going to tell you right now, Tennessee and LSU look like they're going to trade, and you don't know how it works out because you're in a tournament sport. But those two teams are going to share the co-marquee at the very top of that sport for a while, until somebody shows me otherwise. And it might work out that the team that's not in Omaha is the one that gets the leg up, because Tennessee is going off right now in the transfer portal. And they're not done. Like I wrote today in the blog, they're not. There might be 75% done, but they're not done. The last 25% could be the difference. And it's on that note we take a brief time out. Kendall Rogers of D1 Baseball on the other side, and then X will mark the spot later on in the hour, talking Tennessee football recruiting. Watson Brown, presented by Simpson's Meats, coming up on the other side. of our second hour, I should say, as we continue with more. I'll learn to speak, and we'll do all that after this.
Are you searching for a great local coffee? I'm Billy with Grade A Grounds. You can buy our freshly roasted coffee online and support a good cause with every sip. Great coffee, greater causes. Visit our website today, gradeagrounds.com.
Living Vol fan, we're on the countdown to kickoff, and that means you need to make sure you are game ready. Head to Alumni Hall to get this season's Tennessee sideline apparel. Nike, Columbia, Peter Millar, and more. Shop top brands for the entire family. Hats, Yeti, tailgating gear, and so much more. If it's for the Tennessee fan, Alumni Hall has it. Spend $150 and get $10 in Hall cash rewards. Shop at alumnihall.com. Download their app or shop any of their locations in Knoxville, Murfreesboro, or the Tri-Cities. Alumni Hall, the ultimate shopping destination for Vol fans.
It's the hottest post-game show on the planet. Garza Law. Fifth quarter fan reaction. Fan reaction. As soon as the final gun sounds, we're live.
Tony Basilio, and we are live once again with Chad Stockton of FC Alliance. And Chad, you're out there on the field, 100 strong here in Knoxville. Talk to me. What's been going on with FC Alliance now that the weather's heating up?
We're out here for the first night of the boys' tryouts. We have over 400 kids that'll be here tonight. So a lot of exciting times right now for us. Our club team started at U9 and we go all the way through U19. We have over 1,000 kids that come from Chattanooga from the Tri-Cities that make all our teams and make this club what it is today. So we're excited about it. We finished the younger kids a couple of weeks ago. We just finished the girls last night, and now we're on to our older boys program as we speak right now.
And we're blowing and going in the Tri-Cities. Tell me about it.
We started FC Alliance North 1 year ago, and coming off the first year, we're the largest, most competitive club up in the Tri-Cities area. We just finished our tryouts last night. Looks like right now we will be well over 400 kids for the upcoming season. So great things happening up there. We've put our boys into some really good regional leagues. So we're excited about what the future holds for them and also our girls programs.
If you want more information, check them out at fcallianceknox.org. That's fcallianceknox.org. Chad Stockton, keep growing the beautiful game here in East Tennessee.
Absolutely. Thanks, Tony.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Tony Basilio along with the great Mark Griffin. And we're here to talk about our friends at Performance Medicine. And Griff, their slogan, stay educated, stay healthy. That's you.
Wow. I really like to think that, Tony, and I'd like to give Dr. Rogers a lot of credit because I definitely want to stay educated and healthy, and knowing that he's putting the time and effort in to make sure of my care. I want to encourage your listeners to put the time to learn and become educated and get to know Dr. Rogers and see if it can help with your health as well.
And there's a really, really easy way to do that. In fact, they've got their own YouTube channel. You can see Dr. Rogers for himself with his staff. It's called The Performance Medicine Show over at the Performance Medicine channel over on YouTube. Also, more information at performancemedicine.net. To our friends in North Knoxville, a brand new location over in Fountain City, now accepting patients. So many ways to reach Dr. Rogers. And like they say, stay educated, stay healthy. Performance Medicine, online, performancemedicine.net. TB here for Cedar Bluff Plumbing, a live and local company that's been serving our area for over 32 years and counting because every customer counts, and I mean no job is too small. Cedar Bluff Plumbing just voted #1 by City View magazine because multiple plumbing experts are on call to serve all your plumbing needs. Chances are there'll be a plumber in your area when you call, and they won't send some salesman to your house. You're going to get a high character, trustworthy, highly trained plumber who will serve you. Not like some of these these guys that look like they came off the set of America's Most Wanted. Cedar Bluff Plumbing is Basilio tested and approved and will go the extra mile for you because Chucky Mack is a servant of the people and my consigliere to the throne, celebrating over 32 years of serving living volunteers. Cedar Bluff Plumbing. Call 588-4448. That's 588-4448. Cedar Bluff Plumbing.
Attention Vol fans, are you tired of complicated, clunky fleet technology that makes your job harder? Say goodbye to frustration and hello to Connexial, your hometown partner in logistics. It's time to rev up your operations with next level fleet management from Connexial. Connexial is here to keep your business on track with technology that works as hard as you do. Our game-changing ELD gives you more than just hours of service. With AI-powered dash cameras and real-time asset tracking, you'll have eyes on the road, cargo, and your fleet from anywhere, anytime. And the best part, our friendly US-based customer support team is just one phone call away. No more long wait times or frustrating tech talk. Just real people with real solutions. With Connexial, you get a professional team you can trust and easy-to-use products that keep you on the road. What do you say, Tony?
I'm ready. Make the smart move and call Connexial today.
865-888-6920. Learn more at Connexial.com. That's Konexial.com. Drive life with Connexial and go Vols.
Basilio here, and my friends at Carnes Motor Company started with a dream over a quarter century ago. I met Rob and Brian back when I still had hair, and they were working at a huge dealership in West Knoxville. But they told me back then they wanted to sell cars on their terms, and I wanted to do radio on my terms. Their terms, just like my terms, are ultimately your terms. In both cases, you're the winner. A Car Guru's National Award winner with a 5-star rating on all sites, just like our Vols. Everything about buying a car from Carnes Motor Company is no hassle. They specialize in high-quality pre-owned vehicles between the $5,000 to $25,000 range. And if you need to sell a car, they'll either buy your car or they'll help you sell it. Carnes Motor Company also has a top-notch service department. Therefore, every vehicle is rigorously inspected and serviced prior to delivery. So you're guaranteed to get a quality pre-owned vehicle every time. If you need a place for service, they've got you covered. Come be a part of the Carnes Motor Company family and tell them you heard about it from me. Online at carnesmotor.com. Oak Ridge Highway, 1 mile past the Carnes light. Carnes Motor Company.
Yeehaw! Some people say betting online is still the wild, wild west. But with the VIP Play app, you're riding with the best. VIP Play app is hotter than a $2 pistol packed with flair. Live hosts and features finer than a frog hair. Send your old betting problems out of town with a slap. You'll be betting sharp as a tack on the VIP Play app.
Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
Download VIP Play today or head to VIPPlayApp.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-88-99789. Must be 21 plus and located in Tennessee to bet.
Jeff Hall here. I'm a partner at Rather and Kittrell Capital Management. Life is full of transitions. Planning for retirement, managing investments, or navigating major life changes. Here at Rather and Kittrell, we're here to guide you through every step. Visit rkcapital.com or call 865-218-8400 to start your journey toward financial clarity today. Rather and Kittrell is a registered investment advisor.
So look, I pull no punches on here, and I try to lay my cards on the table. I lay my cards on the table maybe way too much. But I was telling Kendall Rogers a second ago that it might be my imagination, or maybe it isn't. But people like him over at D1 Baseball they celebrate the sport of baseball so much. And when you read Kendall's work, like Jim Peters over at TLD Logistics, who's listening right now, he's been talking about Kendall for years and years. And Berkey loves him. Of course, everybody that follows the sport knows Kendall. He's a household name in the space. And what you guys do, Kendall, at D1 Baseball, is I bring you in on our TLD Logistics phone line. You guys celebrate the game, man. And this has to be, this time of the year for you, this has to be really heady. Like, what's the hardest time of the year for you in your schedule now that we've gotten used to the way things are, the NIL era?
Yeah, I would say for me it's probably typically probably regionals weekend, because you're getting to the point where the portal's about to open. You've got 64 teams playing. You've got coaching changes going on. I mean, look at the Mississippi State situation. You had a coaching search going on like during the week of regional, just because Brian O'Connor was not in a regional in Virginia. So I would say that's probably the busiest time. There's no doubt this time leading out to, the transfer portal closing, or being able to enter the portal is certainly pretty busy as well.
I was talking to just a couple people about this, and Tony and I were exchanging texts today, and he was like, the timing of the draft right now, he thinks is kind of silly. What is your take on that, just in terms of the way, because these coaches now, especially this year with the 34 roster thing, I guess the first question is, we've seen bloodletting here, but we're all myopic, okay? Can you bring this into focus for us in terms of just how much pain has gone on across the league and across these two power leagues, in terms of coaches having to have hard conversations with kids that ordinarily they would have kept, but now they have no room for?
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, what it kind of tells you is that with this house settlement and, the grandfathering of some of these players in, is what it's telling you is that, whether it's Danny at Tennessee or, Chris O'Connor at Texas, like, they're not going to allow you to keep, 50 guys on the roster and allow you to grandfather all those guys in, because what that means is that's costing the school money. It's costing the athletic department, the school money. So obviously with the movements Tennessee's kind of made in the portal and things like that, that's given me a pretty good idea that they're being told they've got to trim down to at least closer to 34 than they were before. Right now it looks like the SEC is going to make teams go down to 34 on December 1st. Of course, that does not include grandfathered players. But again, I think we're finding out that schools are going to allow you to have 10, 12 extra guys on the roster. And so what that does is makes things really, really contentious, because, from a Tennessee perspective, you've got guys going to the draft. You're going after some big fish in the transfer portal, and you also have a big time high school class that, a lot of these guys are going to get drafted pretty high in the draft. So it is certainly a lot of moving parts in a time of year where you don't want a lot of moving parts.
Kendall, for our, 30,000 or so followers on Twitter, I put out today the tweet that you had put out, which was who's still available. And then you had in there, draft risk, extra year to play, and that's all those things these guys have to think about now when it's the puzzle at the very top, at the very, very tippy top of this thing. There's so many moving parts, and I can imagine internally those things change. So it's against that backdrop that I ask you, with a 34, and we know that's a hard number on that house settlement, do they carry, do you think, do they split pitchers, position players evenly? Or how do you think that split is going to happen, if you had to guess?
Yeah, I think in modern college baseball, I think you really have to put a heavy payload into kind of your frontline starters. If you look at the hallmarks of any national championship team, you look back at Tennessee a couple of years ago, obviously, you had SEMO, but and Blake Burke. Look at what they had in the front end of the rotation. You look at LSU this past year with Anthony Ianson and Cade Anderson. You look at, Coastal Carolina this year, Cam Flukie and Jacob Morrison. The common denominator there are guys that are frontline starters. And so I think as you kind of disperse this revenue share, I think you're looking at starting rotation. And then, of course, you're looking at, those 2 or 3 position guys, more, everybody's getting money. But in terms of the heavier payload, you're looking at a couple of these position guys that have big time power potential.
It's an amazing thing to stop and think about. So out of the 34, do they go 17 apiece, or you think they go 18, 16, these teams, in terms of roster composition?
Yeah, I'm kind of one of those people, at least in the SEC, I want a couple more pitchers. Here's the thing. Until the NCAA institutes some sort of situation to where you can have essentially a injury reserve roster, almost like an alternate roster. Yep. I'm putting more money into pitching, because with the roster limit at 34, let's just say, and I'm looking ahead here, let's just say in 2 years your roster is 34, and let's just say you have 16 pitchers and 3 of them get hurt in the fall. man, you're in a really, really tough spot going into spring. So until they allow you to have like an alternate system or, kind of almost like an injured reserve, man, I'm not, I am putting more money into pitching.
And the funny thing is, unintended consequences of all this stuff, like on the front end, right? When the 34 scholarship thing happened, I reach out to Tony and I'm like, man, that's great. I've never been yelled at like that in my life. He said, actually, there are going to be so many kids, they're going to lose opportunities now. Don't you understand that? And I'm like, well, actually, I don't.
Yeah.
That's why I said that to you. And so, point being that it turns out he's right. I mean, because if you don't have those, whatever you want to call it, like an injured list, a taxi squad, whatever you want to call that, all you're doing is limiting opportunities for these people. Now, the kids that are in the boat get a full ride now. That's a great thing. But a bunch of other guys really get restricted their access to this thing, don't they?
Yeah, there's no doubt, man. It is just a wild system in general. I mean, whether it's the draft timing, the portal. I mean, you look at right now, Tennessee's looking for an infielder. Obviously, I feel like they're about to get a pitcher. But just the way that things are about to be, it's going to be pretty insane, to say the least.
So I predicted this morning when we first jumped on, I predicted a kind of a loud boom was going to happen today. Ross Kivett just put something out on Tennessee's social media. Who do you think that this is regarding?
Yeah, I mean, Evan Blanco would be the most obvious one. I was on A&M was kind of in on him too. I saw one of their writers, mention that they thought he was going to Tennessee over the last 48 hours. So, that's probably who it is. I mean, he's a really interesting pickup if that's who it is. He was a guy that, 2 years ago, had 99 strikeouts in 99 and a third innings. Really good season, had a really good freshman year. This past season was a little banged up early on. So if you look at his numbers, you're thinking like, if you're a Tennessee fan, you're thinking like 6.23 ERA, man, what's the scoop here? But he was banged up early on, wasn't real sharp, but he got better as the season went on and still only had 9 walks in 39 innings of work. And so if that's who it is, that's a really nice pickup. Obviously, if you look at some of the key pieces that Tennessee has lost, whether it's to the portal or what they're going to lose to the draft, starting pitching is at a premium right now, and he's certainly a guy that could help them out immediately.
It's interesting. Last year, Tennessee went to Ole Miss and grabbed 2 guys, and this year it looks like they're going to do the same. This year with Blanco and also Henry Ford. Does Henry Ford make it here, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, he's one of those guys right now that's kind of a tweener. He's 50-50. I could see him getting drafted and getting enough money to sign. I could see him, looking at the Tennessee situation and certainly the money that is there to be made. I mean, you think about a guy like Andrew Fisher. Fisher was a good prospect, but he wasn't anywhere near where he is now this time a year ago. Yeah. So if you're Tony and these guys, you're like, hey, look at Andrew Fisher and look what happened to him. And let's kind of have that same plan for you. So I think Ford is very, very much kind of a 50-50 deal. I would lean towards him going to school, but I'd also have to know what exactly he's getting from an NIL perspective. That certainly matters in today's era.
Kendall Rogers, D1 Baseball. I'll let you tell him about the coordinates here in a second, but he is a tremendous authority when it comes to the sport across the country, and joins us on the program on your TLD Logistics Hotline, and it is our Rather and Kittrell Capital Management Champs Wednesday as we look at our Tennessee baseball situation as they try and reconstruct exactly what they're doing. Landon Mack from Rutgers, a guy they fought really hard for. I don't know if I've seen Tennessee win a head-to-head battle with LSU out of the portal. It was not trending well about a week and a half or so ago, but they pulled it out. How significant do you think of a get this is, and where do you see him in their rotation?
Yeah, he was one of those guys that certainly had a really solid year at Rutgers. He put together some pretty good numbers. If you look at his stuff just overall, I mean, the slider, it's not his number one pitch that he kind of throws, but I mean, if you look at his slider so far this summer, he's had a 60% whiff rate on that thing. The curveball, which typically will go anywhere from 77 to 81. has a whiff rate around 41%, and then the cutter, just kind of looking at his breakdown here, the cutter in the upper 80s with a 35% whiff rate. So you're talking about a guy who has the ability to step right in Knoxville and miss a lot of bats. And certainly, if you look at guys like Liam Doyle, you love the guys who miss bats, and that's kind of what Landon Mack can do for them, here in a few months.
Didn't have enough of that on last year's staff, and in that ballpark, you'll get beat if you don't have enough guys miss bats.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, they had guys that could miss bats, but they just weren't very consistent. Like I kind of feel like Marcus, for instance, was one of those guys that when I saw him down in Baton Rouge, like he was incredible. I mean, he looked like he was good or better than Anthony Heinsohn. But then, as we all know, a little bit roller coastery with him.
Yeah, very good point. In fact, last year was like a roller coaster. We're hearing some good things about Blaine Brown. I know he's a Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about him. Tell me about Blaine Brown.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. When he first went into the portal, I was thinking like, okay, well, being a Rice guy, he must be going to A&M, Texas, or something like that. But it sounds like he really kind of wanted to get away a little bit. I know Georgia and a few others were in the mix for him. But the thing I really like about him is I think his potential is off the charts. I mean, he's a guy that's 6'3", 180, really sweet left-handed swing. I think there's more kind of strength available there. He already had 10 home runs and 38 RBIs last year, but at 6'3", 180, there is room to grow. I mean, he can be, if you look at pictures of him and you watch him play, I mean, he can easily, in my opinion, be 6'3", 200 pounds, with an off-season in the weight room. And so I like that pickup. I think, the power generation is going to continue to be better. He's going to hit doubles. He's going to go in the gaps and things like that. So I'm a big fan of the upside here. I think, again, and especially in that ballpark, I think he's going to really flourish.
And for the folks listening in Nashville, his father, Chris, you'll remember, out of the University of Colorado, played for the Titans. Was a pretty good player in the NFL. So he has that pedigree about him. Hey,
There's
Kendall.
No doubt.
Yeah, and that never hurts. Tennessee needs some left-handed help out of their pen. Are there guys, you made a list, are there guys that will still be available because the portal closes tonight? And do we expect any loud booms today in terms of guys to jump into the portal? Are we expecting any of that?
We are not. The one name that I'd heard that might go into the portal, and I know Tennessee, I know LSU, and some others were waiting to see if this would happen. The big one was kind of Ace Reese in Mississippi State. That was a very strange situation. He had kind of said about 2 weeks ago that he's probably going to enter the portal. All of a sudden, the last second, said he's not going to enter the portal. And, you're talking about a guy that was a second-team All-American. And so I think the biggest thing now from a Tennessee perspective is I know they would like to kind of land another infielder. The question is, who is that going to be? Antonio Jimenez, a kid out of UCF, is certainly a very talented middle infielder, has a lot of pop. But again, it looks like he's a guy that could very well get drafted and go. And so as frustrating as it is, for some coaches, the portal hasn't quite been what it typically is. I think what's kind of happened, this is a longer discussion, but I think what's kind of happened around the country is the mid-major programs have found a way to keep their superstars. I think Coastal Carolina is a prime example. Cam Flukie, their frontline starting, pitcher was up to 98 throughout his start against LSU in Omaha, and they were able to keep him in tow. Caden Bodine at Coastal, they were able to keep him in tow. And so I think a lot of these schools are just getting very smart, and they're making sure their superstars stay put, which, if you're Tony or you're Jay Johnson, LSU, or Schloss at Texas, that's not the best news.
But it's great for the sport, though.
It really is. I mean, there's a mixed bag. I mean, I actually am one of those rare people who am okay with the transfer portal. To me, if a coach can just leave out of nowhere, I don't see why a kid can't. I do like the idea of still having the one-time transfer rule. I really do. And I guess again, I'm not saying like what Liam Doyle did is terrible, but I mean, you're talking about a guy who went to Coastal, Ole Miss, and Tennessee. I don't like that movement every single season for a student athlete. I think essentially if our ultimate goal here is to get a degree, that's just very unorganized. And so I still like a one-time transfer rule, but there's no doubt there's guys like Liam out there who, I mean, if you look at where he's going to get drafted, certainly worked out pretty good for him.
Yeah, the thing though that I'm concerned about, just because I've got some age on me, is when these kids get older or 10 years out of school, who do they identify with? Like, one of the great things about playing ball at one of these schools is you get to develop roots, you get to know people in the community, you get to set yourself up for your business career. Very few of these guys are going to play, as we know, Major League Baseball. And so, and I know kids, maybe even families, Kendall, don't think like that, but I think that's a piece here we miss.
It really is. And when I say what it means to be a part of the community, I mean, I look no further than the head guy at Tennessee and Tony Vitello. I mean, he's a guy that, A&M over the last 2 years, very aggressively has tried to kind of lure and get him out of Knoxville. And, at the end of the day, like, he loves that place. He loves the people. He's engaged in the community. And that does matter. That matters a lot. And so that is really the main reason why I like a one-time transfer rule. Certainly, I mean, football, to me, it's even more important in football. I mean, if you look around the country, or you even look at Josh Heupel, I mean, you're going out there busting your tail recruiting all these guys. They may be getting paid really well in NIL, and all of a sudden, like, they could end up at two different places. And you did all this work for absolutely nothing. So I think in football, especially when the money that is exchanging hands with coaches, the money that the sport is making, I think it's even more important to have at least some sort of guardrail in a sport like that.
Kendall Rogers, tell the living listener where they can find you and the coordinates and all that. I got to ask you about one guy I think Tennessee's involved with, and that's a right-hand pitcher from USC, Brody Purcell. Do they have a shot there, do you think, and what kind of prospect is he?
Yeah, I mean, you would think they would have a shot with a guy like him, given what he, kind of accomplished there at USC. I think that, USC has, 3 or 4 guys that are kind of on the board right now, which is really interesting because they were, a regional team. They were a club that took, made some pretty significant strides this year. But, I think if you look at him, the big thing with Purcell is the slider and the changeup both have whiff rates, of around 50%. Which is really good. And so, if you're talking about a guy who's up to 93, 94 with those kind of whiff rates on a slider and change, man, you will take that any day of the week.
You're the man, Kendall Rogers. Tell the living listener where they can find you, and I greatly, greatly appreciate you blessing us with some time on a day where the portal's closing. I know it's a crazy day for you.
No, that's all good. We, d1baseball.com. You can catch us at d1baseball on Twitter. We have a transfer leaderboard if you kind of want to see where the Vols transfers stack up. We have a transfer tracker where we literally about 5-6 times a day we update the transfer portal, destinations, where guys are going, what day they entered. So I'm expecting the Vols to be a little bit active today. Again, I would keep an eye on Evan Blanco, and I don't think they're done from there. So keep an eye on that one.
Thank you, my man. Great talking to you.
Thank you, guys. Be good.
Kendall Rogers, one more time. Cinco, I had to jam a bunch of stuff in there with him. Your thoughts, brother. Talk to me about what we just heard from him.
Well, if we can keep adding quality weekend starters into the mix that have proven in some way. If you're Virginia, I mean, that's a blue blood right now within the past 5, 6, 7 years. And if he showed well, that just takes the pressure off guys like Krenzel, Coons, Sieber coming back from an injury, and any of the young kids coming in. So that just that puts you right back in Omaha contention.
And that's kind of what we were talking about. That's sort of where this whole thing is going. It's like these guys are not right now at the level they're at. You heard Kendall say before, Tennessee, LSU, Texas. These schools don't think in terms of Omaha. They're thinking in terms of cutting the nets down, Sean, which is really kind of crazy where they've come from in a short amount of time. But that's what we're talking about here. That's what we're doing.
I'm not trying to crack. I wish all our coaches performed like that, thought like that.
Well, it's just how they see themselves.
Great seasons are great, fine. No, it's national championship or bust.
It's wild, and that's Tony's mentality. It's like, congratulations on the year for what? We get to the Super Regional. But it was a good year. What they did last year, because here's the other thing about this time of the year is it's not always going to go your way. You're going to have years where the pieces aren't going to all fit. This pitcher's hurt. This guy goes backwards. This happens over here. It's very difficult, even when you're at the very top of it. And then when you heard earlier Kendall say that some of these mid-major programs are keeping their top guys home, I think that's good for the sport. I don't want this thing to be a rollover. Like in Major League Baseball, Sean, I know you follow it, but man, there are teams in Major League Baseball that ought to be in Quad A. And it's like, these teams should be, I don't want to say semi-even, but I think it's a little more fun when the talent gets dispersed. So I'm kind of glad that the mid-major guys are keeping some of their players at home.
Well, it's interesting because I hated it when Notre Dame beat us, but when others, and it's just not coming to mind, there were several this year that get through the regionals or, knock off a Texas, take out a who was the other? Vanderbilt. Who was that team? They were in green, I think. But nonetheless, those are exciting times, and those are big for the sport too. Yeah, Wright State. Yeah, that's big for the sport, man.
Damn straight, man.
I mean, I hate it. I hate it like heck, Phil Fulmer, when they might do it to us. But as a neutral, I love watching it.
Hey, when the right states of the world come into your building, when they fight you hard, that's what the whole NCAA tournament's built on. It's not built on the Final Four. It's built on the magic of David versus Goliath. And baseball's still a sport where there are guys all over the place. One other thing that Kendall talked about is this Brown kid. I'm just going to tell you this behind the scenes. They think this guy's going to explode here. They think he's going to get bigger. They think he's a great player. And they're like, don't be fooled by his numbers. They think he's going to be a great player here, Sean. So they've got a lot of interesting pieces right now.
I don't know what to say. I wish I had something witty,
fun.
pithy, whatever to say, but it's
fun.
I mean, it's certainly fun. That's why recruiting is fun. Recruiting is for the old timers. It's like Christmas for sports fans.
Sure.
Every new kid that wants to come here is potentially the greatest thing ever. Every guy that moves on, he never realized his potential, or he was the this or that. It's not rational, but it's fun. And this is interesting to me is that as the prices keep going up on season tickets, I just have no reluctance whatsoever to put down the money for Tony Vitello in baseball, because I know without a doubt that his expectation, his work ethic, what he wants to accomplish is even bigger than a fanatic like me wants them to accomplish. And that's very rare in sports.
I mean, look, Tennessee is getting that left-handed pitcher, Blanco. That's true, because I think he committed in the that's the kid I was talking about off the top. And Kivett has put that out today. And they usually do that when they're getting a player of that ilk. And he's very good. And so, and then you hear Kendall Rogers say, you're going to hear some more pops today, which I didn't realize. So that's fun. Now he's got me wondering. What are we going to do? How's this going to play out? This is fun stuff. 865-200-5402. I'll tell you what, I got a window for some phone calls because Sexy Exy has been indisposed, which does happen from time to time. Perhaps we get him in here tomorrow and get a full breakdown. At any rate, we continue with more on the other side. It is a really fun time right now. It really is. As we continue with more, and I thank Kendall Rogers right after this. We come back. And before we do, I want to remind you that our Champs Wednesday presented by our friends at Rather and Kittrell, and I thank Kendall Rogers for jumping in. Whether it's personalized financial planning or disciplined investment strategy or ongoing guidance and partnership, my friends at Rather and Kittrell have you covered. And these are really, really great people. Now, you hear Jeff Hall on there. Jeff Hall went to work there 25 years ago when his career was over in the NFL and career kicking here. And he and I were talking, and he said, Tony, I never even came close to leaving here because this place aligns with who I am, how we want to treat people, who we are, who I want to be. And hanging around Chris Kittrell, I kind of get the feeling that I believe him. I believe him. Let me tell you something. These are really, really good people at Rather and Kittrell. And they're a fiduciary, which means they're working for you. They're not working for the big houses. Their responsibility is to you. Experience the difference at rkcapital.com. We're going to come back on the other side. We got a few calls. We'll get them in. Exciting times here on the Hill as we continue with more after this.
Whether it's baseball, football, softball, church groups, or schools, if you're raising money, do it with locally roasted grade A grounds coffee. I'm Billy Miller, a Vol alum and Knoxville native. You keep 40% of sales, and we donate 5% back to our East Tennessee community. Get started today by visiting our website at gradeagrounds.com.
Summer is officially here, and the last thing you want during sweltering heat is a broken air conditioner or HVAC system. That means it's more important than ever to keep you and your family comfortable and safe when extreme Tennessee temperatures arrive. Don't ignore the warning signs that your AC is struggling or nearing the end of its lifespan. And if you need emergency HVAC repairs, routine preventative maintenance, or want to invest in a new system, then call the trusted HVAC experts at Pipe Wrench Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. This month, get up to a $1,000 discount when you buy and install a new air conditioner or HVAC system. We make it easy with free on-site estimates for replacements and free second opinions on repairs. And if budgets are tight, we offer flexible payment plans including 0% financing with credit approval. Be sure to ask about our 10-plus year warranties that are 2 times longer than industry standards, so you don't spend a cent on unexpected costs in the future. So call Pipe Wrench at 865-264-8090 or book online at pipewrench.com to schedule your appointment today. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free.
Life never stops moving, and between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to Grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up, a tire designed for doers, a tire that's going to last, like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Jeff Hall here. I'm a partner at Rather and Kittrell Capital Management. And here at Rather and Kittrell, we understand that life is full of transitions. Since 2000, our team of dedicated certified financial planners has been helping individuals, families, and businesses navigate these changes with confidence. From comprehensive wealth management to tailored retirement plans, we're committed to guiding you toward a secure financial future. Ready to take the next step? Visit rkcapital.com or call us at 865-218-8400 to start your journey today. Rather and Kittrell is a registered investment advisor.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Are you stuck in a dead-end job or ready for a new challenge? Do you feel like it's time to try a new career? Well, it's time to change lanes with TLD Logistics. My friends at TLD Logistics have some really exciting opportunities for you to learn a new skill. With a new 5-acre driving academy that's now under new leadership with all new course material. And the best part, it's absolutely free. What a great deal to set you on the road to higher pay. And TLD Logistics even offers weekly stipends to offset food and gas expenses. In 6 weeks' time, you could complete this course and be in compliance with FMCSA regulations. Then you're ready for the open road of opportunity. What are you waiting for? It's time to change lanes with TLD Logistics. Visit tldlogistics.com. That's tldlogistics.com. TLD Logistics.
A lime is not always just a lime. You see, some limes are lucky. For when a lime joins the salted rim of a crisp, refreshing Tres Dos Equis, that lime is no longer a mere lime, but a wedge of renowned Mexican limón. Muchas gracias, limón. And also, de nada. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis, imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Hey there, Basilio family. Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. The countdown to fall football is on. Is your fall plan missing the perfect home to watch the Vols make another playoff run? If a new view is on your game day checklist, I'm ready to help you find it. Don't wait until kickoff. Give me a call today at 865-694-5904 or visit my website at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference.
Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, their Mama Zizi approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Thank you to Josh Collins and Zizi.
One more thing, Tony. Go Vols!
Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw. Available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good. Tony B back with you, 865-200-5402. I want to thank Kendall Rogers for joining us. X sends his regards. He was going to be in this slot. We will get to Watson Brown coming up. It'll be a Wednesday with Watson Brown presented by our friends at Simpson's Meats. Yeah, buddy. With grilling season here. Keep you fired up, focused, and prepared. Just as our last guest did, he predicts a few more bangs today for Tennessee before the day is over as the portal closes in baseball. Now, just because the portal closes doesn't mean you can't get guys out of the portal. For instance, I understand that Tennessee's now working on, in basketball, they're working on adding another player to their roster now that the June period is over. So something else for you to watch for. Football has added 7 players in the last 5 days, including Legend Bay with an absolutely legendary mind. Unlike Shador Sanders, this kid actually is a legend. As we go to the phones. Unlike Nico Nerfball. Let's go back to our TLD Logistics phone line. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony. It's Sam from Nashville. How's
Hey,
it going
Sam
today?
in Nashville. Welcome in, my brother. Good to hear from you.
Man, this is an exciting time to be a Tennessee fan. I mean, I was thinking about my years at school were pretty horrible in a lot of sports. So it's exciting to get fired up for this recruiting because whether it's basketball, football, or baseball, we're having people weekly where you can get excited again about the sport.
Lifeblood, man. Lifeblood. And the other thing is fresh blood, lifeblood. The other thing about this is that it makes you stay engaged through the summer. People can rip the portal all they want. The TV ratings for these sports have never been higher. You know why? Because you got around-the-clock engagement with it now. You have a period where in the summer they used to practice these kids in the summer in basketball, but act like they weren't doing it, Sam. Now they practice them and let the media come in and watch it, watch a couple of these practices, and word gets out that this is what we have on our roster and this is what we're doing. And we're going to do an after June special video over on our YouTube channel. Myself and C are going to do a special catch-up on the basketball deal. But they've had some real interesting developments there. This recruiting with football, this Legend Bay guy getting a shot in your arm like that with the class, and then the kid they got out of Chattanooga yesterday, this is fun stuff, man. This is fun stuff.
Yeah, and stuff like that, I mean, it already makes me plan on, man, maybe I'll go to a basketball game this year, or, you know, maybe I'll plan another trip to a football game. Because I want to see these players. I keep hearing about them. I want to see them in person. The Nate Ament guy from basketball.
Yep.
I've heard over the summer he's unstoppable. I want to see it.
Well, and not only is he unstoppable, Sean, a mutual friend of ours, the great Byron Williams, was telling me that the kid came out to Fairways and Greens and got fitted for some clubs. So this kid likes to play golf, Cinco. And Byron was really bragging on him, wasn't he, Sean? What a great young man he is.
Byron's a positive guy anyway, but he went out of his way to talk about, because the context is this kid's a top 5, if not top 2 or 3 draft pick next year.
Yep.
He said the young man came out there to get fitted for some clubs. He's 6'10", 6'11". Byron's a tall dude anyway. If you don't know B. But he said the kid could not be more, what's the word?
Gracious.
He could not be more gracious. He could not be more accommodating.
Classic.
It didn't know any of these guys. And these guys were significant. Well, frankly, all these guys could be his father in age. And he said the kid was absolutely comfortable, was yes or no, sir, was not in any way, shape, or form big leaguing. Given his NIL structure behind him, you would never know it. Byron went on and on about it.
Went to lunch with him.
And Byron's not to be, he knows professional golf.
That's exactly right.
He's not to be starstruck at all.
Hey, listen, this guy, to our friend in Nashville, our friend Byron said to the kid offhand, hey, we're getting ready to go get something to eat after they were done with him. And he said, oh, I'll come eat with you. He said he was the nicest kid in the world. I'm telling you right now, somebody told me last night, do not sleep on them putting this kid and letting this kid shoot the ball like an off guard some. Do not sleep on them letting this kid play some point guard. Do not sleep on seeing this kid at every position. I mean, this kid is going to be really something. And
I'm excited for it. I'm excited for baseball season. I'm excited for football. I'm losing my mind. I'm ready for something to start, because this July is going to be long, man.
We got you locked in, bro. You roll with us every day. I'll keep you locked. I'll keep you locked and loaded.
Oh, I'm tuned in.
Thank you, brother.
Focused and prepared.
Good talking to you. Thanks. He's fired up, focused, and prepared. Little wildfire Tommy Rich for you there. Channeling my buddy Tom Robinson. TR, a.k.a. TR Shock. Upon the continuance, Sean, let me ask you something before Watson jumps in here. Upon the continuance. How's this quarterback thing, now that we're in July, and now that it's getting real, how's this quarterback thing going to play out? Sean, are they going to name a starter at a camp? Are they going to let it play out through the summer and into the Syracuse game? What do you suppose happens there? So I'm going to ask Watson this, how you handle this as a staff.
Well, barring injury, Aguilar is your quarterback. It's set up that way, NIL deal. It's set up that way from transferring in, from seeing guys, albeit 30 years ago, when you watch depth charts, there is, and I hear people talking about Merklinger. I get it. Hope runs eternal. No way in the world is that kid ready. For the past year, he's been sitting behind Nico. Everything was Nico. Your mindset is not to just jump right in. I mean, you talked about it, how they went back twice to redo his NIL deal, and for no reason other than just to keep him. I would imagine Aguilar has come in and taken the reins. I think he was already out on a signing thing with Miles Kitselman. Kitselman's obviously one of the vocal leaders. Aguilar's out there with him. So I think it's going to be, barring some kind of injury, it's going to be Aguilar. And yeah, I think I don't know that Josh Heupel's ever public with anything, but I don't think there's really going to be much of a competition. My concern is with the way Aguilar runs, is Merklinger going to be ready if he has to play as a backup? And I'm not so sure about that. And the reason I say that is because our past two starting quarterbacks have not lived up to what Hendon Hooker did. So, you've kind of got that trend. So to answer your question, it's Aguilar, in my opinion, and barring any kind of injury.
Yeah, because look, I don't know that if Nico Nerfball would have come back here, I'm not sure what kind of season he was going to have. The truth about the upcoming year is, the more and more, and it's July, but the more and more I look at that schedule, the more and more I say to myself, what are we doing? This it's not a hard schedule. It's just not. I mean, you're playing, and a couple callers pointed this out to me, and I thought about it yesterday. One of y'all's in my head, because again, I'm taking this prednisone stuff, so I sleep very little, but I'm fired up on that stuff. But he says, have you looked at the road schedule? I mean, sure, you got two tough games, but you got 2 cupcakes. You got 2 walkovers. You're playing the dregs of the league at the bottom of this thing. You get through that Syracuse game, could be a lot of fun. Who knows? Oklahoma could be a lot better, though. I have no idea. The nature of this at this time of the year is wild. The other thing I'm going to get into with Watson is, in the old days, these guys could disappear for a few months. These coaches, and I'm not crying for them because they make a ton of money, but this is a 24/7 venture now. Which, by the way, shout out to Wes Rucker, and let's hope he lands on his feet. But we continue with more on the other side. Hour number 2, when we commence, the great Watson Brown, presented by our friends at Simpson's Meats, and he will bring it at you after this.
WJBE 1040 AM, 99.7 FM. Translator W259AB. Powell, Knoxville.
Guests appear on the TLD Logistics Hotline. Online at tldlogistics.com.
It's a huge week of celebrations with your Knoxville Smokies. Looking for the best 4th of July fireworks in town? Well, look no more. Join your Smokies on Friday and Saturday for the best and brightest fireworks show in East Tennessee. Let's celebrate America's birthday with America's favorite pastime. But we aren't finished there. Sunday is our day game of the week, the perfect way to close out the holiday weekend. Let the celebrations begin. We'll see you this weekend.
Whether it's baseball, football, softball, church groups, or schools, if you're raising money, do it with locally roasted Grade A Grounds coffee. I'm Billy Miller, a Vol alum and Knoxville native. You keep 40% of sales, and we donate 5% back to our East Tennessee community. Get started today by visiting our website at gradeagrounds.com.
Since 2001, Pipe-Wrench Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling has been the trusted and preferred name for over 70,000 Knoxville locals. Looking for expert plumbing services and HVAC services, including repairs, replacements, or maintenance. Voted best plumber in Knoxville and one of Knoxville's best HVAC companies 7 years in a row. Pipe-Wrench is a fully licensed mechanical contractor and committed to excellence and craftsmanship, so you can trust our certified experts to go above and beyond to meet your plumbing and HVAC needs, no matter what problem arises. We also make it easy with transparent pricing, free on-site estimates for replacement, and free second opinions on repairs. And if budgets are tight, we offer flexible payment plans including 0% financing with credit approved. Be sure to ask about our 10-plus year warranties that are 2 times longer than industry standards, so you don't spend a cent on unexpected costs in the future. So call Pipe-Wrench at 865-264-8090 or book online at pipewrench.com to schedule your appointment today. And as always, same-day service guaranteed, or the visit is free.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Life never stops moving, and between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to Grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up, a tire designed for doers, a tire that's going to last, like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire. Basilio here for Budget Transmissions. TGMD, the great Matt Dixon, took his Ford Escape to budget, and like our gold bullet back in the day, it was a total mess. And now, Matt's back in the game. He's got a new transmission, axle, wheel bearing, both radiator hoses, engine mounts, coolant hoses. I mean, his Ford Escape was about to escape to the junkyard, but he didn't begrudge it. He took it to budget, and now he's on his way back to Omaha. Budget Transmissions, over 30 years in business, conveniently located in Bearden. All extended service contracts are honored. A gold certified Repair Pal member. 865-584-4391. 865-584-4391. Budget Transmissions. Don't begrudge it. Take it to budget.
Hey there, Basilio family. Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. The countdown to fall football is on. Is your fall plan missing the perfect home to watch the Vols make another playoff run? If a new view is on your game day checklist, I'm ready to help you find it. Don't wait until kickoff. Give me a call today at 865-694-5904 or visit my website at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Tony B here with the great Zakai Ziegler for
Hey,
Advent.
whoa.
Tony, I got this. Hey, Tennessee, it's Easy here. Next time you have an electric issue at your home or business, call my friends at Advent Electric. With offices in Knoxville and Nashville, it's Mama's Easy approved.
You heard it from the most electrifying player in the league. Call the service professionals at Advent Electric, 865-588-0631. Online, adventelectric.com. Tell them ZZ sent you. Say the name, say the name, say the name, say the name. The great Watson Brown now joins. And when I say the name, I bow thy head and I smile on your TLD Logistics phone line, online at tldlogistics.com. Watson, que pasa, amigo, to you. It is absolutely outstanding to spend some precious time with you. And I hope you're doing well on this glory day, my man.
Oh, it's always an honor to be on with you guys, and I'm doing well. Thank you. It's beautiful. Beautiful day.
Watson, I got to ask you a question now. And I need a serious answer. Okay? Do you feel bad for these coaches these days, the money that's in this stuff? They don't get a break like you guys once did.
I don't feel bad for them whatsoever. Heavens, no.
No?
Not at all.
Don't they need a few weeks off, Watson? Don't they need a few?
Maybe that's sour grapes a little bit. I don't know. But the money being thrown around as salaries is so different. And they say, well, the cost of living.
Cost of
I'm
living.
telling you, it's a different world, number one. And number two, their staffs are so deep. Now they have recruiting staffs. In my time, the assistant coach did everything. There might have been a recruiting coordinator, but the assistant coach had to do it all. And he had to coach, and he also had to do all the recruiting pieces. What to send to this guy, what you going to do with this, got to go see this one, got to go see that one, got to study this film, got to study that film. And now you have other people doing all those pieces. And so it's not near as bad on them. That sounds like a guy, saying my dad used to say, I used to walk 10 miles to practice and 10 miles home every day. Now I'm sounding like my dad. But I'm telling you, it's a different world. There's so many more people involved than there was when we were all coming up.
Hey, Sean Sinclair, you and I were talking off the air about this kid Tennessee got who's now hurt, and hopefully they can get him back from Oregon State, the defensive back, who's been named the number one DB in the EA Sports game, the McCoy kid. But, Sean, you made the point to me. Here's a kid. There are a million schools in Texas. And Watson brings up a really great point that people need to understand. Back, Sean, when you were inside one of these programs and when Watson was doing his thing, you didn't have the 45 analysts that you were paying on these bloated payrolls that are like third world countries. The governments of first world countries, I should say. I mean, they got more people over there than they have at the Pentagon for Tennessee football. Cinco, how does McCoy get out of Texas? How does that happen? How come he won one of those Texas schools?
Well, I think that he was a two-way player that was showcased kind of as a wide receiver. He may have had aspirations to have the ball in his hand on offense. And, people had other priorities.
And
he was a track guy also. But you were talking about how this happens is, there's you talk about analysts. Well, there's so many recruiting services before. Coach will probably confirm this, but back in the day, when I worked at the recruiting office, you know how we found prospects? We sent out postcards to all of the high school coaching staffs throughout the country or throughout the region. And we requested that if anybody was in their region or their state that they played, that they thought we should look at, could they please write their name down and send it back to us? That's how inaccurate it was. So if it was the scope of seeing all these different players was so limited. There could be a kid right under your nose and you'd never know about it. So that's how a kid, could have come in previously and been a quote unquote 3-star, 2-star, because no one would have ever seen him.
How about it, Watson?
No, he's dead on, and it was so much harder to find them because number one, you didn't have the bodies. You just didn't have them. I mean, I'm going back to when in my original early years as head coach, offensive coordinator, all of that stuff. We had a staff of, I can't remember if it was 9 or 10. I think it was 9, and 2 GAs. We had a recruiting coordinator. That's how it all started. And then it grew a little bit to where you had some young people in the office helping out. And now these staffs are deep, and the assistant coach does not do near what he used to do in recruiting. That's why when you said that, I immediately said, heck no, I don't feel sorry for them because they're not doing what my guys and I did when I was an assistant football coach. They're not near doing the legwork. The legwork is the hard part. You got to go find the kids first. And it was even harder at schools I was head coach at because I couldn't get the 4 and 5 star. If I got one of those a year, I was very lucky. I had to take the 3 stars, and you had to study that a lot closer. Now, there wasn't such things as stars when I started. I mean, it's well, what do you think of this kid? And it was so funny, and Sean will say this too. I can vividly remember when it didn't have an offer, and then all of a sudden, so-and-so came in and offered him, and within a week he had 5 more, 6 more, 7, 10 more offers. It was hard to find the kids. And that assistant coach is out doing that legwork. You had a month of May to go find those kids. That's how it's so different now. Is when I started, you were finding them as juniors to recruit them as seniors. Now you're finding them as freshmen and sophomores to recruit them as juniors. And so it's just such a complete different world. But the part I defend is what the assistant football coach went through. It was all on him, man. He'd get in a car, he'd take off. You didn't have all these GPSs. You're stopping to ask how to get to this high school, how to get to that high school. I mean, it's just a complete different world. And you fly into Houston. I might fly in 4 of my guys for 1 week to Houston and say, okay, split out. In those days, there was over 100 schools in the Houston. Now there's a lot more than even that. But we'd hit every one of them. But it was assistant football coaches, 100% so. And that's where it's such a different world now. It's a lot easier to find these kids. The services also, absolutely. Even when they started, I don't think we trusted them the way they'll look at them today because it is a business now. But when they first started, it wasn't what it is today.
Who was the best? Hey, Watson, I was reminiscing about, like, you had the M finger, you had that guy Forrest Davis.
Yeah,
you had
Davis. Holy cow.
Yeah, that's right. That's funny. Who was the mailman, Sean? What was his name? Schaumburg, Illinois guy.
Tom Lemming.
Tom Lemming. Who else do you guys remember?
Came along a little later. Forrest Davis was one of the originals.
There was a guy named Bobby Burton who ran a thing called National Recruiting Advisor. There was a Rick Kimbrell that ran Blue Chip.
There you go. I was trying to remember those guys. So, Watson, how much of a role did those guys play? Because it's just interesting how it's changed. Because now here's what happens. These teams have 1 million kids that want to get in coaching. All these programs do, and they sit there and cut film for them all day.
Oh, no, it's
what they do. It's what they do.
That was illegal. You couldn't bring anybody in like that.
They cut film.
No, you could not do that.
And now what they're doing.
I was a graduate assistant for Steve Sloan at Vanderbilt, and Rex Dockery was the offensive coordinator, and Bill Parcells was the defensive coordinator. And I was the only GA. So I cut tape and film for them for scouting-wise, breakdowns. On Sunday and Monday, I did the defense, and on Tuesday and all Tuesday and a little bit of Wednesday, I did the offense. That was the way it was. I was it. Now, you didn't think that trained me well because I'm having to watch a play, put it on this tape, put it on this reel, so they've got all of this same play on the same reel or this defense coverage on the same reel. Man, did I learn some football and kill myself. I mean, but I was it. Can you imagine in today's game with that? Unbelievable. And that's an
guarantee
unbelievable
it.
story. And those names, those are the people that got me started in the business.
I know that today, the way this thing works is, because I talk to people internally at all these SEC schools, they'll take a conference now, a mid-major conference, and this is your responsibility. You're going to watch every game. You're going to pull every kid out of there that can play. You're going to know every roster, because that's what we're doing now with the portal. The portal is recruiting.
There's the analyst, and there's even more than one now. But when it first started with the analysts, Tony and Sean, there would be 12 analysts that had the 12 teams you're going to play. And the one analyst had that team, and he did everything in the world to study that team. From the off season through the season, I mean, everything in the world, that was his game. That's the way it all started, to be very honest.
It's wild stuff. The great Watson Brown joining. Tennessee just got 7 commitments in 5 days, and more are coming. The schedule is so flipped around. And Sean Brady brought a great point up. What does it matter till we get to that signing day? Because, Sean, the answer is not much.
No, 100% agree with you.
It's crazy.
It never has mattered. It never has mattered, really. But it really doesn't now, because when money starts getting involved, it becomes, once you commit, that's only the start. That's when the bidding war really starts, in my opinion. These early commits, and it's great they're getting them, but they know. And you can't imagine the people talking to them through the fall and all the different pieces. But this really isn't a big difference there, because they were committing early anyway. They were committing early. I talked to you all about this last week, that I had a very good friend, coach of mine, that coached at one of the better schools in the country, and said I made way too many mistakes on quick decisions. Because we had to. We had him in camp. He was going to this camp the next week. He was going to this camp the next week, and you either offered him in that camp or you weren't. You were out, and they're having to make too quick of decisions. And I still think that's part of the issue.
You know what's interesting though, Sean, that we've seen in past years? Guys will quietly decommit in the fall because staffs will go to them here, there, or anywhere and say, "Hey, basically they'll get you committed, but they'll try to recruit over you." I mean, it's really a crazy game watching them put these rosters together, Sean.
Well, it is. I mean, so many of the words get twisted. I mean, you back in the day, you give, and they may too. They give all these kids scholarship offers, but then they're not really committable offers. They're obviously just telling you, "Hey, we're gonna give you an offer." And basically it means if all heck breaks loose and you're the only thing left, then you can come. There's no more committed. You're only committed to the fact that you're committed that on signing day you're going to put your name down on one scholarship. And it goes both ways. I mean, we sit there and we're talking about baseball. Unfortunately, there's a story going around that baseball kids, signees, were getting ready to come to campus this summer. Yep. Part of the 25 recruiting class for Tony Vitello, and unfortunately, some calls had to be made. Not that Vitello and his staff are scoundrels. It's because in this new era of 34 players, decisions have to be made and feelings get hurt. So that's why until the ink is on the national letter of intent, I guess in December now, it doesn't mean a thing in my opinion.
Watson Brown joining, presented by our friends, and we're bringing it at you. Look, it's a grilling holiday. Simpson's Meat's a great place for you to go today. I'm telling you right now, they raise and source their meat from farms on pastures literally on purpose, because they're comfortably continuing a tradition that began back in 1888 on Jim Simpson's family farm. And whether it's delicious steaks or burgers, sausages, roast, chicken, they've got a variety of local offerings. They've got a butcher shop out off Level Road. It's pretty off the hook and off the chain, and you got to check it out. Simpsonsmeats.com. They can ship it anywhere in the world for you. Watson had himself a gift box that got shipped to him. He's been eating on it. probably will eat on it this weekend when they fire that grill up.
No, that box is gone.
Huh? We need some more?
I've eaten every bit of
We
that.
need some more.
It is so good. That didn't last long.
Do tell. You're going to pay a little
it's
more.
Delicious.
You're going to
It's
pay a little more, but
delicious.
you're going to pay a little more, but you're going to treat yourself. So
Yeah.
if you want to treat yourself over the July 4th holiday, Simpson's Meats online at simpsonsmeats.com and do it. It's going to be a nice day on Friday. By the way, we will be in here tomorrow doing the show. And then Friday, of course, no program. Watson, so here we are. It's July. It's wild, man. Season's right around the corner.
Yeah.
First of all, a couple things I want to ask you about. If you were UCLA, okay, because they've announced they're bringing Nico to Media Day, and George Plaster asked me about this on his program yesterday, which is something I hadn't considered, which is, why would they do that? And, of course, it's going to be a circus. The last thing I would do at a media setting is bring a kid in who's the first guy that's ever left a starting quarterback that's ever left a program in this crazy, wacky era we're in. Why would they do that, Watson? Explain that to me.
Because he's the face of the program.
How?
100%. He's one because of the money they spent on him and the way they went about everything. He is the face of the program, and he's going to have to face it. Whether it's at the media days, whether it's first day of practice, he's going to have to face it, and they're going to have to face it. So I'm not saying I would have done it, but I understand why they're doing it, because get it out. Go on and get it over with.
Would you, Watson, would you have him read a statement, or would you just have him answer all the questions like he's going to anyway?
I wouldn't have taken him because I don't think it'd been fair to my team.
Exactly.
To the players on my team.
What about the other guys? That's exactly right.
I know what they're thinking, but I would have him make a statement when by the first practice, when everything – that's the first time they really get to him, or the day before the first practice. If they wanted to keep him away, he's going to have to answer, and I would have a statement written, but I don't see how in the world you keep him from answering questions. That would be really hard to do.
Sean was just saying, Joey Football just got here as well, right? So they changed positions. There's no way in hell Josh Heupel's taking Joey Football to media day. I mean, that would be, and here's why you're not. I'm going to reward 3 guys that get on the big stage who have been with me, that I want to show some loyalty to. And it's great. I got this guy from you, and hopefully he works out. But we don't know if he's going to work out. And really, UCLA doesn't know if Nico's going to work out. And they're just bringing their distraction with him, in my mind.
Yeah, I think you understand why I'm saying what I'm saying.
Sure.
I would not do that. I just feel like you've got to show some ways of committing to your team that's there. And that's where it's changed. And I'm not sure I'd be good at it, because I was such you're in the program, you've gained from being here. Now you're old enough that you're setting the culture with the young ones coming in. I mean, that's the way I was taught, from the Bill Parcells and Steve Sloans right through Pat Dye, right through everybody I've ever worked with and for. And now it's so different. But I could not get away from showing some commitment to the team of I don't know how many it is. I don't know if it's 60 that are left. I mean, we might lose 15. I remember my first year at Vanderbilt, we lost 5 guys. We had 5 seniors my first year at Vanderbilt. So we didn't have any scholarships. And by the way, when Sean said a minute ago about, offering and backing out, that is such a different world. And I do get it. I never backed out of a commitment.
Wow. Good for
not
you.
Not one.
Good for you.
Never. But that's not holier than thou. That's just showing you the difference in the times. It's showing you the difference in the times. And as a player, I backed out. I backed out of a commitment for Alabama for 3 weeks, and then right before signing date, signed with Vanderbilt. So I've been on both ends of that thing. But the way it is now, it's just got to be open, because they back out on you. You may end up having to back out on these. It's just the way it is. But in my time, it never happened one time with me, not one time.
These, it's got to be very difficult today to be a parent, like Sean was talking about.
Oh,
Get a phone call from a head
man.
coach saying, "Hey, I know you've gone through your whole senior year in high school. I know you've worn our colors around your school. I know everybody knows you're from your community. You're going here, but I don't know how to tell you this. We don't have room for you." I mean, you talk about a phone call you hate to make.
Oh,
and
they're
a phone
made all
call
the time now.
you hate to
I've
get,
had,
and they're made all the
I've had
time.
many players come
That's
play
exactly
for me
right.
in my latter years that happened to. And Sean, I'm telling you, and Tony, I've recruited as a head coach and an assistant, and I've been a parent with both my kids being recruited. And I'm going to tell you, it's much harder to be the parent. And try your best to let them make their decisions and then help them through the tough times, because it is not fun. It's a business now in recruiting. It's a total business, and it's a business for the 18-year-old the same way. So it's really hard. It is really, you're dead right. It's much harder on the parent than it is the coaches or the universities.
It's rough, man. It's a rough deal. All right, let's get to Joey football. So here we are. It's early July. I was asking Sean this. If you're Tennessee, you rip the scab off early because he says, look, this is Sean's world. You pay this guy $1 million. He's obviously going to be your starting quarterback. How deep in the camp do we go, Watson, till you name him? Do you wait and let it play out in the Syracuse game? Do you kind of play games like people do? If I gave Watson Brown that dime in that dance floor, and the thing we don't know is what he's going to look like, how he's going to – he looks like he's going to fit their offense probably better than the guy that was here, truth be told, which will be very weird if that in fact happens. But how would you play it, Watson, if it was your dime and your dance floor?
I would play it by the way it worked out. If he comes in and he is, you can see within 10 days of practice or a week or whatever, I name him and let's go. But if he hadn't, I'm not. I don't give a dang how much money you've put in. When it comes time to win games, you're going to play the best player. You are going to play the best player. And if they paid him $3 million and he ain't the best player, Josh ain't playing him. So it's going to be off of how it works out. And as a coach, you would love it to work out quick. That's what you want as a coach. You want your leader settled. And I've always said and still believe it to this day, if you got two, you got none. You've got to have the man, and he's got to be the guy. And a second teamer go in and help him here and there, yeah, okay, but not be two men. There's got to be one. And I promise you, Josh wants it to work that way.
But you're not going to do it. You're not going to do it until the time comes,
proven.
Right? Yeah.
You do it, and it's not proven within that team, and you go do that, you have really set your locker room afire.
So how long is it going to take for that kid to prove it to them he can
play? I don't know. It's how quick does he learn this stuff? The rules are so different now. They can work with you. This time of year, when I was coaching, you couldn't even talk to a kid about football. You couldn't do it. So the rules are so different. You can catch up so much quicker now than you used to could when you're coming in the door as a freshman or a transfer or whatever. It's just how quick. And is he the most talented, or is it that he is the furthest along and he's a little older and he's more experienced? But that's for Coach Heupel to work out, and he will. But I'm telling you now, they're not sitting in a room saying, "Oh, we got to play him because of this amount of money." That ain't even being discussed. And if it is, they're on the wrong path.
Wednesdays with the great Watson Brown, presented by our friends at Simpson's Meats, online simpsonsmeats.com. Watson, you and Cinco, I want to ask both of you, now that we're here, who's a better fit for this offense? You saw, I know you scouted him, I know you talked to your brother, you talked to people that saw him played against him, and you went through the time, and we appreciate that, of doing the research through your contacts. But now that we're here, who's a better fit for this deal because one thing I continue to hear from people about this kid is he's got kind of the leadership vibe. In other words, he's a kind of a follow me, more of a take charge guy than the last guy was. The last guy was kind of a flatliner, and everybody's a little different. But the last guy didn't raise the level of people around him, which, again, is something you don't know till you get in a spot with somebody, right? You don't know whether a kid has that or not, right? Do you? I mean, you can't see that watching film, or can you?
No, but when I talked to all the different people that had played against him,
right,
that was the first thing said, was the confidence level that he played with and the competitiveness that just came out of him on game day. That was the first thing said. More than ability as far as physical twos, everybody that I talked with said that first. And I said to you all, I'm not sure that ain't the most important thing right now for Tennessee, because they need a man to come in and be that, because I don't think they had that last year. I just don't think Nico had reached that level just yet. And part of it was because I thought he still had flaws, and I thought he played C-plus football last year.
Yep.
And that's what I thought. I said that to you all year. He's just not there. Josh is protecting him. He's still got things that he's not as good at, and I thought he could get there because I'd seen Josh take Hendon Hooker from that point to the next level. And but now he's gone, and I thought they needed somebody with that kind of attitude. That he's going to have physical twos or he wouldn't be here. But that's what was said to me. That was by everybody. First thing said by the three different coaches that had played against him. That's the first things that came out of their mouth was his confidence, his competitiveness, and you could see the team clinged around him. And that's what Tennessee needs in the worst way right now.
Everybody's telling me this kid's very cocky. Cinco, who's a better fit, Sean, now that we're here? Or are we talking ourselves into this? Is Cinco there? Who's a better fit on this deal?
Sorry about that. I think Coach would agree with this. Football can be extremely complicated, but it can also be very simple. And the simple part of this is that one kid wants to be here. One kid wants to show that UCLA was wrong. One kid wants to show that he's better than JUCO and App State. And the other kid wanted to be gone. And sometimes it's just that simple. You can run a 4.2 40, but if you can't take contact and you don't want to go across the middle, I got no use for you. And so you got a kid right now in Joey Aguilar that I think wants to prove a lot of people wrong. He's probably got a chip on his shoulder saying, hey, I'm better than having to go to JUCO. Hey, I am better than what I showed at App State. Hey, I am better than being thrown on the heap from UCLA. And I'm going to come in here and work hard, and I'm going to extend my hand an extra yard to get a first down. I'm going to take a punch when I have to sit in the pocket against Alabama. I know that the other kid wouldn't do that. So there you go. Excuse me.
It's fun, isn't it, Watson? I mean, thinking about this is going to be very, very, very interesting here because Tennessee's schedule is pretty navigable by SEC standards.
Yeah, I think the two things that are in his corner is, number one, he has now been to two different schools.
Yep.
He's been to App and UCLA, so he's been through leaving, going somewhere, and now coming to another one. That's going to help him. I'm telling you that helped. Number two is he can learn the system so much easier with the rules the way they are now. He's spending more time off the field than he'll even be spending on. And number three, to me, I think Josh is the best I've seen in the country right now at working around what his quarterback can do. I always had to do that because I had to run quarterback-oriented offenses. We weren't good enough to move the ball other ways. And so I've done this my whole career, and that's why I have so much respect for Josh is I've watched him, and I've sit there and said to myself, I know what he's doing with this right here and why he's doing this. This kid's not ready for this just yet. He's not putting it on him. So he's got a coach that understands that, and I don't think he will take Joey too far. He will not do it. If anything, he'll be a little slower in the other direction, and that's what I've seen about Josh. That's why I feel good about this. Is I don't care which one of those guys ends up playing quarterback, the quarterback will play well because Josh will handle him well, and that won't be an issue. Now, if Joey is really good, it takes you to a completely different level.
Uh-oh.
But if he's just okay, they can still win a lot of games. Or if it's McIntyre, whoever, whichever one it is.
Yeah, that's why this guy's I call him a high-floor coach. That's what he's shown me the last couple of years.
Well, he sure is handling quarterbacks.
Yeah.
That's what I really see right there.
Watson, you're the man. Much love to you. Have a great 4th. If you light a fuse, get away from it. And if you get near
I don't like fuses. That's not me. That's not me.
Well, how about your younger days? How about you and young Mac? Did you guys ever light the fuses?
Never been me. That's never been me. So I did not do that.
We used to build bombs when I was a kid. We'd take buckshot.
I figured you'd be one of those.
Well, you take I'm gonna tell the kids how to do it, but you take some ball bearings, you take some buckshot, you put it in a Folgers. Remember the Folgers coffee cans? I don't even know if they still have them. But anyway, you can make yourself a pretty good bomb, or use some rocket fuse. We used to go to the those rocket engines. We'd cut those things open and have fun with them. Watson, love you, brother. Thanks, man.
Enjoyed it, guys, as always.
Thank you, man. Thank you, buddy. The great Watson Brown. I love him. Upon the continuance, we'll get some calls in. I got one more guest I got to get in very quickly. I got to set the pace for you. In the meantime, we get a brief Terrell Owens, and then we come back with more. It's been a stacked and packed Wednesday, hasn't it?
What do the names Kirby Connell, Jordan Beck, Evan Russell, Drew Beam, and John Fulkerson have in common? When they have questions about the law, they call on Marcos Garza and the Garza Law Firm. The Garza Law Firm can handle anything law-related that may come your way. Join these VFLs and let the Garza Law Firm assist you. Visit them online at garzalaw.com. That's garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Jeff Hall here. I'm a partner at Rather and Kittrell Capital Management. Life is full of transitions. Planning for retirement, managing investments, or navigating major life changes. Here at Rather and Kittrell, we're here to guide you through every step. As a trusted advisor, we offer personalized wealth management tailored to your unique needs. Let us help you protect, preserve, and grow your financial legacy. Visit rkcapital.com or call 865-218-8400 to start your journey toward financial clarity today. Rather & Kittrell is a registered investment advisor.
Are you stuck in a dead-end job or ready for a new challenge? Do you feel like it's time to try a new career? Well, it's time to change lanes with TLD Logistics. My friends at TLD Logistics have some really exciting opportunities for you to learn a new skill. With a new 5-acre driving academy that's now under new leadership with all new course material. And the best part, it's absolutely free. What a great deal to set you on the road to higher pay. And TLD Logistics even offers weekly stipends to offset food and gas expenses. In 6 weeks' time, you could complete this course and be in compliance with FMCSA regulations. Then you're ready for the open road of opportunity. What are you waiting for? It's time to change lanes with TLD Logistics. Visit tldlogistics.com. That's tldlogistics.com. TLD Logistics. Basilio here reminding you that when you want to sell your extra tickets to the game, you don't want to give your life away online with all your personal information just because you want to sell a few extra tickets. Clark Moore at Select Ticket Service will gladly buy your extra game tickets and your extra parking passes. And the best part? Clarky Boy pays cash. 865-919-1016. 865-919-1016. Clarky Boy pays cash at Select Ticket Service. Clarky Boy pays cash.
Attention Vol fans, are you tired of complicated, clunky fleet technology that makes your job harder? Say goodbye to frustration and hello to Connexial, your hometown partner in logistics. It's time to rev up your operations with next level fleet management from Connexial. Connexial is here to keep your business on track with technology that works as hard as you do. Our game-changing ELD gives you more than just hours of service. With AI-powered dash cameras and real-time asset tracking, you'll have eyes on the road, cargo, and your fleet from anywhere, anytime. And the best part, our friendly US-based customer support team is just one phone call away. No more long wait times or frustrating tech talk. Just real people with real solutions. With Connexial, you get a professional team you can trust and easy-to-use products that keep you on the road. What do you say, Tony?
I'm ready. Make the smart move and call Connexial today.
865-888-6920. Learn more at Connexial.com. That's KONEXIAL.com. Drive life with Connexial and go Vols.
A lime is not always just a lime. You see, some limes are lucky. For when a lime joins the salted rim of a crisp, refreshing Tres Dos Equis, that lime is no longer a mere lime, but a wedge of renowned Mexican limón. Muchas gracias, limón. And also, de nada. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis, imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw. Available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good. Tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of content on today's show. We're going to go back to the phones and get our next call in. 865-200-5402 is the number. I'm going to knock everything over in this studio because I'm standing up now, trying to move around a little bit. And let's get our next call in. And let's see what we have. By the way, TLD Logistics phone lines. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Happy Fiscal New Year, my friends and compatriots.
Same to you. Happy Physical New Year to you. It's getting physical in here. It's verbal, not physical.
Well, Tony, and since it is the beginning of the fiscal new year, is there a possibility of getting Titans Bill on to sing the song "Let's Get Physical" by Olivia Newton-John?
You know, it's a really good idea. Maybe if Billy's among these callers that we have, maybe we'll hear him do that because he has done that before.
I thought he has.
Yeah.
And I call that the jazzercise era.
I love the jazzercise era with. You know, I flip things, and so these old VHS tapes are out there, and you'd be surprised. Some of these old VHS tapes, W. Lynn, people pay money for them.
Yeah.
The Jane Fondas of the world, and I guess
the leg warmers and headbands.
Oh yeah, the leg warmers and the headbands, brah. No doubt about it. Big hair and biggie high hair too, W. Lynn back then.
That's right. Today, Tony, I'm celebrating Woolly Wednesday. I'm getting woolly, you know.
And these kids have fired me up this week on here. These younger callers have brought me to the table here. I'll admit it.
And I do wonder, are we going to have a live feed at what I'm calling the Publishers Clearinghouse Committee to see what they're ruling on NIL deals?
Cinco, can you imagine when we start hearing that they start rejecting these guys in this recruiting process?
You kind of bubbled there. When we what?
When we start seeing this Publishers Clearinghouse thing, which is a great word for it, when we see them rejecting these guys, Sean, when they say, "Hey, this guy, this NIL deal's invalid,"
it'll be a worse scenario than, remember when their committees would either honor or reject waivers for extra years.
Oh my gosh!
And red shirts. It's absolutely a stupid thing, simply because it's fraught with the thought of impropriety, meaning that of course an Alabama guy gets through and not a Mississippi State guy. Who
was the kid from Tennessee, guys, that was a pretty good player that got hung up in that clearinghouse thing back in the day for like a year and a half? Do y'all remember that?
Yeah, I can't remember who it was, though.
Do you remember his name, Sean or Brian? He literally got hung up for like I think he was from New Orleans. And I want to say his name was
I remember there was
Williams,
a long time
maybe?
J.J. Peterson in.
J.J. Peterson. That's Matt's boy.
The great Hoover Mafia guy.
That's Matt's boy, J.J. Peterson.
Sean, in memory of Roger, who's more woolly than any of us ever were, I'm looking to maybe go 4-1 when we get to the first open date. Be 7-2 by the second open date. Do you think that's unrealistic?
Let me pull that up. W. Lynn. Let's see here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Don't do that in mixed company.
Man.
Yes, it is
I'll
possible.
Tell you what, I can look. I can see this team going. I can see this team going 11-1. Hold your hats, my friends. I'm not predicting it, but
that's not Wally Wednesday. That's like outer space. That's outer space Wednesday.
Nobody can convince me we're going to get Georgia.
Yeah, that's Roger Wednesday.
You
know what? But hey, well, okay. Take out Georgia. Take it out. That's fine.
Take it out.
It is what it is, right? We all know we all know that they're bigger bullies than we are out there, and they are. But show me on this schedule who, without a question, that you can't line up and beat. We can go to Florida and beat them. We can go to
I don't know about Alabama.
Quarterbacks coming off the second year.
Yeah, the thing we don't know about Alabama is
I'm not saying with Bill, but why can't?
No, Alabama is wildly talented still. The thing we don't know about him is, can Ty Simpson play? If he can play, they're going to be in the playoffs. If he can't play, they might lose 3 games, and we could be one of them.
Yeah, and you don't know if they're going to put the talent together.
Why didn't they make the playoffs last year?
Why didn't they make the playoffs last year? They had spotty quarterback play.
There you go.
They were 9-3.
And they had a coach that couldn't go to Vanderbilt and win.
That's correct. First-year coach. That's correct. You're exactly right. But he was pretty good every spot he's been. And he made the playoffs at Washington. So I still think, and they're recruiting pretty well, Sean. We know that. So I think Hickey's going to stick around.
They are.
I think we'll be in the Alabama game as long as we don't fumble and let them pick it up and score a touchdown.
W. Lynn, you're my man. You fired me up, folks, and prepared me. The kids are rubbing off on all of us, and several of you have brought it to the table this week, and you will not be forgotten by this living fan. Hello and welcome into the next call. You're on the air.
Now, Dr. Sean know damn well, Tony B., that he can't go to Florida and win. And I don't know why he took it upon himself to take Georgia out, which Georgia going to mollywop you. We going to mollywop you.
We didn't take Georgia out.
We took get mollywopped by Mississippi.
We took Georgia out. We took Georgia out and said they're going to beat us, and every other game's in play. I agree with you on the Florida game, though, unfortunately, because there wasn't such a thing as a smartphone the last time we won there. I still think I was listening to music on an 8-track tape, Cinco. I know I had cassette tapes back then because I was listening to my cassette tapes on the way back from that game in 2003, Sean. So I know we had cassette tapes, Cinco.
Florida, I said that Georgia was a non-starter. I accept that as a loss, but here's the rationale on the Florida thing. This game against Florida is coming to the end of the year. I think Florida's schedule is a complete inverse of what Tennessee's is. I think Florida is getting ripped off by the difficulty in their schedule last year and this year. And though Billy Napier has recruited well as we have, if not better, I still think that cumulative effect on the year could make it a little dicey. I did not call for a win at Florida. I said we could win at Florida.
Well, I just want you to know that our schedule is the toughest schedule again this year.
No doubt.
Yep. Y'all are playing high school.
Yep.
Y'all are playing high school schedules.
Yep.
And that's fine. If you could take all the dubs that y'all get this year, take them all.
You know,
but
Florida, your boy Andy is getting, I think, rejected by the Redneck Brawl up there in Johnson City. He wanted to get in it next month, but I think he's been told he's not allowed to compete. You got to admit, your schedule's a lot like Andy in that Redneck Brawl, because Andy would be like, it'll be an all-comers match up there. Andy would take the first guy down, and then he would take the second guy down. That's what Florida's got. I respect the hell out of the schedule Florida's playing. Sean respects it, Bryant. Every Tennessee fan listen to me that despises Florida with all their fiber of their being. That non-conference schedule you guys are playing is nuts, man. That's just, in this modern era, it's crazy.
And first of all, I like to say, take a hats off to the Hillbilly Foundation up there in Johnson City, because y'all was out of y'all damn mind to think Andy could make anything up there with his non-rapping ass, Tony B. You know better than that.
Not only that, I would have given Andy, after his performance against you, I'd give him the stick. And not only would I put him in that event, but I'd have built my event around him. I would have given him the stick. I would let him rap his way into the ring, cut a diss track about his opponent that he was getting ready to get in the ring with, and then maybe see him get bolo kicked in his head in about the first 10 seconds. I love you, Andy. But your entrance has been good.
I want to tell you that off the air, this is true as can be.
Yeah.
Off the air, Tony and I were talking, and we said, fact, if Lagway's healthy and Florida played our schedule, if I was a Florida fan, I would be looking to go to the playoffs. True or not, Tony? Did we not?
There's no question. That's exactly what I say. I know what I saw last year. Hey, the Lagway kid, here's the deal, everybody. And I know Florida's on here, and I don't want to puff him up or blow him up, but he was exactly what Nico was supposed to be. That's who he is. But he's got to be healthy. He's got to be healthy, though, Florida.
$4 million cheaper.
He's got
$4 million
well,
cheaper.
not now. Not now. He's not $4 million.
$4 million cheaper.
Not now. Not now.
But Tony B, so you and Dr. Sean are saying, with our schedule, we won't make it to the playoffs this year.
I don't know if you will or not.
You
but
have no
I think
chance.
I think it's a tough row, man. That's.
You have
I think Alabama would have I think Texas would have a hard time.
I agree with
that schedule. It's a tough schedule, man.
You have no chance.
It's unfair. It's unfair.
I love
schedule.
you. I love you. You have no
Tony
chance.
B,
You're eliminated.
Tony B, I tell you what. I just stopped. I laid off of you for a couple of months now.
Florida, your win total 7.5.
I'm calling you every day from now.
Florida, your win total 7.5, sweetheart. Do you understand me?
Every day.
You know
from now on, I gave you a couple of months off, but I'm calling your ass every day from now on. So you block me in every day. I'm calling. Because I heard what both you and Dr. Sean both said.
We just said we respect your schedule. I mean, but you're not making the playoff. You don't have a chance of making the playoffs. Get real.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, Texas would go 10-2 against your schedule, I think. Don't you, Sean? Texas would go 10-2. You get worn out by that schedule. Hey, that gives me hope. By the time we get to you, you're going to have to go through a bunch of people. That's the game. That game being in November, that gives me hope, man.
Well, what happens against that schedule if Lagway takes another shot on that? On shoulder?
Well, then Florida's on here talking about how his coach is slaw like he was last year. Your words, not mine.
He was.
Is he
but
still slaw?
They did the right thing by keeping him. They did the right thing by keeping him.
Sure they did.
Because he's a hell of a recruiter. He's recruiting everybody.
Oh, he's going crazy.
He's recruiting everybody, but you're not giving nobody no credit.
What do you mean?
But that Aguilar guy that you think gonna come over from UCLA,
what's his
and
name?
Do something that Nico couldn't do.
Florida, what's the man's
name?
name?
Are you out of your freaking mind, Tony B?
Joey.
Have you been smoking them left-handed cigarettes?
I wish. Joey football. Do you have any left-handed cigarettes or gummy bears? I've been through. I could use a little medicinal marijuana if anybody has any. By the way, to the radio listener, I love you. I appreciate you. You're incredible. We're going to do this, continue the conversation here at tclub.team and wherever you're finding us, so stay right there. To the radio listener, peace. Peace.
WJBE 1040 AM, 99.7 FM. Translator W259AB. Powell, Knoxville.
Ballet. But what about us complimenting the guy?
It's TLD Logistics.
We're complimenting you, Florida.
Overtime.
Hey,
Presented
Florida.
by TLD Logistics. Online at tldlogistics.com.
I'm going to pull out my handy-dandy calculator right now. I'm going to run a formula.
And now let's go to the guys with today's edition of TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime.
Percent chances Florida has of making the playoffs this year against that schedule, Sean, even if Lagway's fully healthy. You ready?
Yep.
Z-E-R-O. None. No chance. What
Nada.
you should be cheering for, Florida, is to have a pretty good football season. Maybe go 9-3 like South Carolina did last year and sneak into the conversation. Because if they go 9-3, hey, it's a great story.
Well, here's the problem Florida fans have is that they all know deep in their hearts they got a mid coach. He did a nice job at the end of the year, but he's a mid coach. Everyone knows it. He knows it. His family knows it.
Yep.
And Florida wants to be back into the national spotlight. And in the SEC right now, they really need a different coach because that guy ain't it. I'm not saying Heupel's it, but I know Napier's not it.
The last guy they had was
Florida really needs him to do okay, take a buyout, and then go get them a killer.
The last guy they had was a great coach, non-recruiter. This guy here is kind of a suspect coach, but a very good recruiter. And they need to thread the needle. Brian, that's why you have hope, right? Because of Sunbelt Yams?
Yeah, in the game where it is on the schedule and the gauntlet they got to go through. We saw once what happens when Tennessee and Florida played late. And I know that was a generation ago, but all those things, if they're beat up and they're coached by a coach. But then again, he seems to do well when they're a heavy underdog, or he just doesn't do well as a big favorite. And they'll be favored by, I think, 3 is the line is what it is right now. Now, who knows by the time the game gets here, but you just don't know if Joey Aguilar takes off and is really good. A lot of variables can go into it. I don't see why you should be defeated about that game now, especially given what Florida has and what we think Tennessee might have. You just don't know. You can't really say that for sure. Now, Georgia, Alabama, I tend to agree about those two.
To the phones
Those are likely losses.
No one wants to be defeated. As a great Michael Jackson once said, Eddie Van Halen ripped a solo in the middle of that. It's incredible. The guy from Toto, why does his name escape me right now? Lukather played rhythm guitar on that song. If you ever look at those, you ever flip a Michael Jackson record over and look at the session players that were on the thing? Trust me, they respected him. The Porcaro guy from Toto wrote that little riff in Human Nature that made that song.
Yep.
Beautiful song. Let's go back to the phones. And then Michael did this thing where he started, I don't even know what he was doing. He just disformed himself and his voice changed. And I mean, what in the world? Anyway, let's go back to our phones. Because the Off the Wall record and the Thriller record, I mean, the singing, the musicianship, the songs, the producing, everything's just brilliant, brilliant stuff. Back to the phones we go. And then he aptly named his bad record bad, because it was bad. Let's get our next call in. Hello and welcome. You're on the air. Hello.
Hello, Tony?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Hey, man. This is the first time I've got to call in. This is
Thank you.
what they call me Catfish Ike. I like doing a lot of catfishing.
Wow, man. Now, where's the best catfishing? Where's the best area around here to go catfishing?
Well, now around Knoxville, from what I've seen from Catfish Dave, it's usually around, I think, north from Watts Bar.
Okay.
Maybe in the Tennessee River. That's always a good place to go.
That Watts Bar area, that's beautiful and clean up there, isn't it? I sat up there with my instrument before, sat by the stream, and That's a beautiful, beautiful part. Now, how about you? What part of our country are you?
I'm Churchill, Tennessee. It's right
Churchill.
outside of Kingsport.
Okay, so how about up in your areas, like Boone Lake? Where do you go?
I go to Cherokee Lake.
Cherokee?
They kind of, they kind of tend to call it the Dead Sea. So,
but it's good for catfish.
I got a little fishing boat that I go take down there.
So the Dead Sea is good for catfish? Like still water is good for catfish?
That's what they call it, but there is catfish in there. It's pretty good. They got catfish and bass, and I think maybe walleye, if I'm not mistaken, too. So,
one thing I'd change about myself if I could is have the patience to do what you guys do, which is to have the patience to enjoy, being in a boat. And I think that's kind of like a certain calling, don't you? Like we all enjoy different things.
Yeah, it's definitely like playing the game of chess. You got to have patience and stuff. So
yeah,
but
I respect that, man.
It's good to get out there and do everything. Kind of a stress relief, really. I guess you could say, just be out there in the water. And
great to be outside. That's why I love playing music. Like literally, when I play music, I can feel my blood pressure going down. Like I can feel peace in my body. Like, and I think some people like to play golf. Whatever people do. Man, you cannot just keep your nose to the grindstone to go 1,000,000 miles an hour. You have got to have something you enjoy in your life. It's a hobby,
no doubt,
whatever.
No doubt.
And I like to junk around too. It's another thing I like to do. Go to look at thrifty things or go find junk, and it's just fun for me. It's a fun release. But let me ask you something about the fishing deal. Do you ever do, like Rob Lewis over there at VolQuest is a big like fly fisherman. That's kind of his jam. Do you ever do that stuff as well in the streams here?
I've never had fly fished. I've always kind of wanted to try it, but I never have done it. I used to trout fish, just going to the streams.
In the streams,
Put a line in.
That looks nice.
But and I used to do a lot of trout fishing, but I've never tried the fly fishing. That definitely looks like an interesting deal to try out, though.
Yeah, he loves that stuff. They put the waders on and they get hip deep in it and go for it.
Yeah. I was going to let you know, I've been listening to y'all now for a good while, ever since back when, I think it's about the end of baseball, when they was getting just right before they got into the playoff there. And then I've been listening to y'all ever since, and I've really enjoyed the show.
Thank you.
Learned a lot. I'm a big football fan for the Vols.
Thank you.
And y'all are very detailed, and I've learned stuff that I didn't know, and it's been very educational to listen, y'all. I'm originally a Virginia boy, and
nice.
I moved down here about 5 years ago, and my family that used to live in Bristol, they actually got me into liking the Vols back in the Johnny Major days.
Oh, that's fun.
Back when he was coaching, so I've been a big fan of them ever since then.
Where in Virginia did you live, man?
Back in around Southwest Virginia, a little town called Lebanon, Virginia.
I know. Hey, listen, I know that area well. My first job out of school, I worked for Nabisco.
Yeah.
And I was stationed in Roanoke.
Yeah.
So we traveled the highways and the byways, brother. I even got up there to where the guy had Graceland up there by the Star in Roanoke. Have you ever seen the family that had the fake Graceland up up there?
I know. I hadn't seen it. I've been around Roanoke, but I haven't seen what you're talking about.
Roanoke's pretty country.
Yeah, it is. It's nice country out through there. It sure is. The Appalachian Mountains and stuff. It's really nice country up through there and everything.
But the two places I've lived since I was out of school are there and here. And if that isn't being blessed, I don't know what is. And ending up here, brother, ending up in Knoxville, Tennessee, is been an absolute blessing to me, my man. Just an absolute blessing every day.
Yeah, it's definitely been down that way quite a bit of times and stuff, and just a great area and stuff, and just great country land and all that. And but yeah, I just wanted to let y'all know I really enjoy listening to y'all show. I've learned a lot. And,
thank you, man.
I'm looking forward to the season. I'm very optimistic, and I really hope that Joey football is going to turn out good. And I'm kind of like you. I think him coming into, he's going to have a chip on his shoulder, and he's going to want to show that he can do it. And I really hate that the Nico situation ended the way it did, but that guy, he's going to have to put on some big boy pants, start making his own decisions instead of letting his family do the decisions for him. And that's just what I feel about that. But that's then and this is now, and I'm really hyped up about the football team, and I feel like Heupel's doing a good job, and I can't wait to see what they got worked out, and it's going to be interesting. And it's like you say, but they've got to be productive, and I think if they can be productive on the field, you're going to see a good football team going on this year.
Totally agree with that. And the thing that this kid brings to the table that has me kind of really anticipating this versus dreading it, because look, Sean, I'll tell you, sometimes some years when we're doing this, we know what's getting ready to happen. Like we know it's going to be dreadful. And you just try to like put lipstick on a pig or whatever that old saying is. This guy has some moxie and some confidence about him, and I do think the concept of him getting kicked in the face. But the Nico thing's interesting, right? Sean, I was going to ask you about this. Hey, Sink, I was going to ask you about this in this NIL era. Parents used to be a thing where parents would drop their kids off at college and coaches would not talk to crazy parents. Like, I'm not going to deal with you. They went from that, Sean, to having Nico's Nation of 3,000, like 30 of them over there at practice off to the side, having their own little circus. And I don't know how you thread the needle, Sink, in this, or keep the balance here in this day and age where these guys are such investments. And now, in some cases, they're the breadwinners for these families. So they don't cut them loose anymore. They, micromanage them. That seems to me another distraction, Sean, I would not want as a college football coach.
No, I think it's like as a parent, you tolerate or you put up with what you want to, and that's what you're going to get. I don't believe that Nick Saban would have had that on his sideline.
Never.
I don't believe that Urban Meyer would have had that on his sideline.
Never.
And there are probably other coaches that wouldn't have that as well. In a way, though, it's probably a lot better because now you're dealing with agents, and agents are kind of like attorneys. You can go through an agent to tell the family what you want to hear. You can just say we don't want to. We're not going to do that. We'll talk to your agent, if you will.
Yeah.
That's a very interesting thing because now all of a sudden, athlete parents have become dance moms.
Great point. To my caller's point,
I'm torn. I wasn't that kind of athlete. I don't have that kind of athletes as kids.
Right.
And I'd like to tell you that I would act, in a certain manner. But if my kid is so and so good, and I'm watching all these other kids garner so much money, I think the way you compromise your ethics a little bit is say, hey, we're just going to hire an agent and let them sort it out, so I don't have to look like a money grubber.
Well,
tough deal,
tough thing, and 100% of these kids that are recruited by Division I schools, understand this now. You talk to these coaches, 100% of them think they're playing in the NFL when they come out of high school. Okay, that's a dirty little secret. Even the guy that sneaks in, like Robert Peace's son, gets in the back end of a roster next year or whatever. Every one of those guys, because that's what makes them competitors. They all think I'm getting there, and we all know how the math works out. Now, my caller, I'll say this: look, I raised a couple kids, and I did some things to them, and I've apologized to them, but we all do because none of us are perfect, right? So I say to them, hey, that's another half hour on the couch for you when you're like 35. And you got to kind of work that out when you're sitting with some therapist. And my dad said this to me or whatever it was. I don't judge anybody. But I'm going to tell you this right now. There's no way in hell that I would lord over my kid like that guy has his son. No way. No way. No, I was not raised like that. My father looked at me at one point and he said, look, here's the deal with you going to Tennessee at school. If you go down there, and this is how he said it to me, and you dick off, okay, you're gone. So I'm going to spend my money here and invest my money in your future, but you're not going to make a fool of me. And by the way, I'm not going to be there to help you. And somewhere along the line, we've gotten from that to Nico. But again, the paradigm's different because Nico's making money for those people. I mean, they're flying back and forth. And, he's the big breadwinner. The thing I don't understand about the Nico thing that I'll never understand is what happens if that kid doesn't make pro football and they would have left. Nobody asked this, okay? but they would have left on the table before it's all said and done. What happens if he goes out there to UCLA and fizzles out, and they're out $2 to $4 million at the end of that? I don't know about you guys. That's a lot of money in my world, $2 to $4 million. Because literally, he's going to make about $500,000 in take-home pay at UCLA when it's all said and done. After those tax rates get done with that kid, I mean, I don't understand it for the life of me. We don't have any income tax here. He was keeping his money. I don't know. Just me. Anything else for us today, my man?
That's pretty much is it, bud. I just want to call in and let you know how much I enjoyed the show and just comment on y'all. Y'all doing a great job.
Great visiting with you, brother.
You found a number one fan in me there and everything. So
I'm
y'all
sure.
been very educational.
I'm sure we'll urinate you off at some point, brother. But thank you. Good talking to you.
I'll be calling you back though as it goes on.
Thank you, my man. Great talking to you.
I appreciate it, buddy. Y'all have a good one, man. Talk to you later.
You too, buddy. You keep fishing, which is a beautiful thing. You know, Sean, if you think about that, Nick, just from a money standpoint, you're going to make about $2 million here when it was all said and done. And you're making $1 million there. They're taking 50 to 60% of it out there in California. It's just how it works. I, for the life of me, don't understand any of that. The math, any of that. I don't understand it.
Well, I think a possible explanation is if you're about the money, and apparently they were, and let's get real. Why come to Tennessee unless you were the initial guy for $2 million? I can understand as a Tennessee fan, he came here for the money, but I think a reasonable explanation is that his family realized that the kid wasn't all that, and if he stayed here, he was in a bigger, brighter spotlight. I don't see him getting much better here this year. Some people can. There are people that always want to believe a 5-star is going to be a 5-star is going to be a 5-star.
Yep.
And they will crucify everybody on a chat board, and they will rip everybody to pieces, and they will hold out hope that the 5-star is a 5-star, etc. But the bottom line is he's barely a 3-star from what I saw. And given the offensive roster turnover, because he's the guy that needs help. He's not a guy that makes people better. He needs a guy.
Right.
He needs an offense around him to make him look better.
Right.
And so it's perhaps they wanted out of here, get back. Look, UCLA football is nothing out in California.
But he's making no money though, Sean. He's making no money.
For the sports fan, you're not top 10.
Look, if you would, when they tried to do their maneuver to go to Miami, okay, what they did to Miami is they said, "Hey, we want $3 million." This is how this worked. This is what people that have got steep into this thing, and they come back to Tennessee and they said, "Okay, we want our raise." This is in December, and Tennessee basically said, "You're going to get a moderate raise. We're not paying you $3 million. You didn't look like that. I'm sorry." You didn't look like that. And
well, what wasn't the thing that Miami, because this was before they went after Carson Beck.
Right.
My understanding was that Miami told him we're not even interested in paying you what you were making in Tennessee.
Correct. Miami said we will pay you 1.4 if you want to come. And then we'll take the money and put in some other pieces. And the kid's like, "Well, I'm making 2 there." And they were like, "Yeah, you understand us?" The kid ended up with $1 million. That kid went from north of 2 to 1 million. He was north of 2 in a no income tax state. Listen,
remind me not to hire Big Nick to go negotiate for me anytime soon.
Well, look, I follow hockey, okay? And one of the things in hockey that they talk about are these, what they call the Sun Belt teams. And Tennessee's one of those, the Nashville team. And the teams in the Philadelphia, the New York, the Canadian teams, California, what have you, all get pissed off because Florida's winning all the Stanley Cups. You know why they're winning Stanley Cups, them in Tampa Bay? Because those kids, those athletes, and their agents, they're not paying tax in those states. I mean, this is a real advantage here in the state of Tennessee. If you can take advantage of it. It should be a real advantage. Like if I'm dealing with kids that are making $2 million and I say, hey, you know what? You get to put the money in your pocket. Now, not all of it. I mean, everybody's going to pay federal tax, but you get into some of these other states, buddy, let me tell you, they're murderating you. They're murdering your pocketbook. I just, for the life of me, can't understand how Nico and his family talk themselves into that. I mean, it just doesn't make. And, Sean, there's no way that UCLA team is as good as Tennessee, and they're going to play in a comparable conference. I got news for them. When you get on the field with a Penn State or an Ohio State or Michigan or Oregon, it's just as good as the top teams in this league. Just as good. Now, the middle of the league is not. In the bottom of the league, the bottoms are comparable, but the middle of the SEC is much better. But the point is, you got to be a straight moron to do what those people did. That's dumber than, to quote Barbara Dooley, Brian, what is it?
They're dumber than hell.
Dumber than hell.
Well, not only the money, it's you're joining forces with Deshaun Foster.
Exactly. And
Deshaun Foster can't even handle a 2-reporter interview.
We're in Los Angeles. We're UCLA.
And the other thing about it is that
he knows geography, though. He knows where their school's located.
The other thing about it is his guy coaching quarterbacks is a youngster at this. He's not being under the tutelage of David Cutcliffe. Like if you were going to a place like that where, hey, or Sarkisian, a guy's churning out quarterbacks. Okay, yeah. All right, that makes sense.
They brought in the assistant
to the assistant
under. They brought in a position coach underneath the offensive coordinator to Indiana because they want to run a similar type of. This guy's never run an offense.
Whose father
He's never called plays.
That's right. Whose father was the defensive coordinator here, and we called him Buddy Can't Hack It. What was his name?
Sal Sinceri.
Because he looked just like Buddy Hackett. And if you get up, those are youngsters, you get your phone out and you look up Buddy Hackett and you look up Sal Sinceri, and we called that guy in real time on the air in Knoxville when he was coaching here. Buddy Can't Hack It. And by the way, that leads me to this. Tomorrow we're going to have a show because I'm doing July 3rd program and I want to laugh. And Cinco, if you're free, jump in with us. Tomorrow, Lunch Break Luke's going to have the blog. You're going to see the lineage of the champions of life. It's been tracked since Butch Jones spoke it into existence. And as Hal Hill once said, and he might still say it, but if you will it so, it can be. And he took Butch Jones as blank canvas. And Lunch Break Luke took him up on that offer. And he's a young listener, caller to the show. But Lunch Break Luke used to jump out, and the reason he calls himself out, he's in high school, he would jump out and call us during his lunch break. And that's dedication right there. Anyway, so he's prepared a thing that's going to run tomorrow on the blog that literally is one of the most illiterate things I've ever seen. And tomorrow we're going to tell Butch Jones stories and laugh about just how stupid that era was. Because now we're in a era of competence, but I want to celebrate our independence from the morons like Butch Jones tomorrow. We're going to have our own little Independence Day. Because look, you're under the tutelage right now. Now you're paying more for it. I mean, Danny Dollars, God forbid. I mean, he'd show up and shake a damn dollar out of your pocket if he could get it this afternoon. I wouldn't want to play poker with that guy, and I sure wouldn't want to go to lunch with him because I know he'd be getting the tip, and it would not be him. But anyway, the fact of the matter is that he just won the AD of the Year by Sports Business Journal, which is highly, highly prestigious. Good for him. And Tennessee is flying right now. But I think it'd be fun tomorrow just to laugh a little bit. Go down memory lane with Butchie Boy. Now, was Buddy Can't Hack It a Butchie Boy production, Brian, or was he a Derek Dooley production?
That was Dooley his last year.
So
that's when Dave Hart sort of forced that hire.
Maybe we'll do.
Is there any way that Dooley and Pruitt can catch some strays, as they say?
That's what I'm saying. There's no reason we can't just declare independence on all three of those guys. And I'll tell you something about Dooley. Dooley was so irascible and such a SOB when he was here and such an arrogant guy that he almost comes out of this thing looking normal, Cinco, from the Three Amigos there. Because Butch Jones...
That's amazing.
Amazing.
How that total boob, a complete boob, couldn't hack it in law, couldn't hack it in AD land, couldn't hack it in coaching land, couldn't hack it in... The guy was a recruiting coordinator for 1 year and then got demoted under Saban. Then he goes on, somehow weasels his way into a golf tournament I saw a couple weeks ago. I don't know how that worked in case he was caddying.
I wonder why he doesn't do a podcast. He'd be great on a podcast, Brian. You know that? Wouldn't he be a great podcaster, Brian?
Somehow he comes out with a gold medal flanked by Butch Jones and Jeremy Pruitt.
It's unbelievable.
How's that possible?
It's unbelievable. When Butch Jones showed up, the two stories about Butch Jones, and we'll get into this tomorrow, but somebody called me and told me he had a car that was like the DeLorean that opened on the side with the wings, and he was really showing that off. I thought, this damn guy. Talk about something going to somebody's head. And then the second one is, because we were talking about Nate Ament. Nate Ament's a kid whose mother survived literally like a Holocaust in her country, ethnic cleansing deal, and is now married to a guy that's a minister. And what Byron Williams told us over at Fairways and Greens is, hey, this kid is the sweetest guy in the whole wide world. I mean, this guy is salt of the earth. He's so grounded. Butchie boy, when he made a little money here, had a guy at Oak Ridge, okay, during a football game when the rain broke out, holding his umbrella. Now, literally, Sean, I love you and I love Brian. If you guys came into money and I saw you guys standing at a sporting event and I saw you having somebody hold your umbrella, I think I'd slap the shit out of one of you. No offense to that. No offense to you guys. Can you feel me, Cinco? And I hope you would do the same for me. But let's go to the phone.
Oh, I would.
I mean,
turn the other cheek.
You got to be kidding me. Let's get our next call in. So tomorrow, that's what we're going to do on here. We're going to have some fun with that tomorrow and declare our independence from that clown era we went through. But tomorrow, the prelude will be tomorrow at tclub.team you will see the lineage of the champions of life. And Brian, who holds the trophy right now? Do you know? I think it's Florida. I think it's Florida's Florida Gators. I think they're the champions of life.
I think it was Washington, maybe.
I think Florida's the champions of life, Bri. But let's go to the phones and get our next call in. Hello and welcome.
Hey, what's up, Tommy Joshy?
There he is. Wingo.
Yep, there I am.
My man. Wingo, how did my Phillies got rained out last night, and I kind of unplugged.
My Braves got beat 4-0 by the Angels.
How'd my boy Simo do? Did he figure in it?
I think he had a hit, maybe.
Braves just they're not hitting it, and I think their relief pitching is really killing them. It looks like their starters are doing well, but they have got a couple of Philly rejects in their.
Simo went 0 for 3 with 1
0 for 3.
Yeah.
Did that De Los Santos? There's two guys that you guys have in your bullpen that we had. We actually had the De Los Santos guy. I don't know if he's pitched for you recently, but we had him, Joshy boy, twice. We had to endure the De Los Santos thing twice.
Yeah, he pitched last night. He came in and gave up 1 run. That guy pisses me off.
Yeah, he's a gas can.
Yeah. Our whole bullpen sucks.
Yeah, but the Braves look like they're in a spot. Are they buyers or sellers at the deadline, Josh? What do you think?
I think they're going to be sellers. I think they should trade Albies, and I think they should try to trade Riley and get some pieces for him.
Brian, can you imagine that Ozzie Albies, if he doesn't get his head out of his rear end, might get optioned before this thing's over?
Maybe should trade Michael Harris, too.
I saw where Verdugo got released.
Oh, did he? Verdugo, they finally had enough of him?
He got released.
That's amazing. That's a guy 2 years ago who was a very good player. Baseball is so hard. It's so hard. And the Albies guy, I mean, literally right now, cannot bust a grape.
No, he can't.
What happened? What happened?
He's a great fielder. He just can't hit. Yeah.
And the kid on third base has okay numbers when you look at his...
Yeah, Raleigh.
He is non-competitive in some at-bats.
Yep.
I couldn't believe him in that Phillies series. Now he is a guy...
I can't believe it either.
You know what he is a guy, though, Josh? He's a guy that's capable of hitting 500 after the All-Star break and carrying you into September. He's capable of that. I'm not saying he will. I hate guys like that. I don't like the hot and cold thing.
I do, too. Yeah. Well... Matt Olson, I'm about to call him, unless he starts hitting, I'm about to call him the cash stealer number 2.
Matt Olson is
behind your boy Vinny V.
Let me tell you something. Matt Olson and Ronald Acuna are your 2 premier players that you got to build around.
Yeah. But I'll get on to Tennessee sports, but we'll say this. I think they're going to let Snit finish the season. I don't think they're going to fire him. I just think they're going to let him retire at the end of the season.
If I was a Braves fan, I'd have a snit fit over that because I don't think you ever waste a year. And it looks to me like they've wasted a year with him because he's checked out as a manager. He did some things in that Philly series. I'm watching him going, what the hell are you doing, dude?
He looks checked out, Tony.
He does look checked out. And if you look that checked out and your team's playing checked out, and last time I checked, these are professional. This is professional sports, man.
Yeah. Hey, Tony, I don't know if you saw, but SEC Unfiltered, they ranked every SEC quarterback this season.
I don't even know what that is. But
they have Joey Aguilar last on quarterbacks ranking this season.
Well, they can
Zach Calzada.
They can suck it. Hey, you like those? Hey, you like those words? I don't blame it. Look, I don't blame anybody for taking a guy that's never played in the league, and the last time you saw him, he was kind of suspect. I don't blame anybody for that. Those rankings that means nothing to me. That's why we don't even fool around with that stuff.
Yeah. So, Tony Vols, the guys he got out of the portal, how many of them do you think will make it to campus?
That's $1 million question. Who knows? I do know that the pitcher they got from Rutgers has 2 years, so he's going to be here. He's got this year and another year.
Will be here as well.
The kid from Rice is going to be a great player.
Yeah.
Sean did the piece today with Kendall Rogers, who led off the program today. Did that fill up your cup, Cinco? Because it filled up my cup. It fired me up and focused me and prepared me for what's about to be here.
Absolutely. I'm sorry I got caught on the mute button, but and then another one just came over this past weekend that the great outfielder from Wake Forest. I give credit to Volquest. The great outfielder from Wake Forest came over and visited. Some think he's going to be a first-round draft pick, so who knows?
Wow.
So Tony V is moving and shaking.
Yeah, he is.
Tony told me today, he said our weekend was insane recruiting wise. He said that's why I was ignoring you on your and I just told him, I said, look, I'm only going to text a couple times. You ain't going to text back. I had like a little fit with him.
Right.
I said, I ain't going to sit here and text your phone, brah. Sorry, brah.
Yeah.
Sorry, brah.
Hey,
anything else for us, Joshy boy?
Go ahead. What are you going to say?
No, you go ahead.
Yeah, Tony, out the door, I'm going to end my call on this. Tony, I wonder if Wes Rucker, if he still doesn't like people going out in large crowds to see you.
Okay. I don't know what that is. Brian, any idea what he's talking about there?
No, but I want to wish Alex Myers a happy birthday.
Oh, my gosh, my boy. Boyfriend of my dog Lulu, Alex Myers. She likes all men, but she loves Alex. Alex Myers, I love you, brother. If you were here, if I'd have known you were coming, I'd have baked a cake. Baked a cake, Bake the cake. Cinco, you're my man. You find him, SEA in Sinclair, DDS in beautiful Maryville. Sean, pop in tomorrow in our Laugh Fest if you're around.
I'll try, but I will certainly be listening.
Peace, brother. Any final thoughts for us?
No, Tony, I hope everybody has a safe, and please be safe tomorrow with fireworks. I've had friends that have been injured with fireworks.
Me too.
Or if you're out on the lake, have fun, but let's moderate the drinking. Not trying to be a downer. I want everybody to be back, ready to go, fired, focused, and prepared on Monday. So enjoy the 4th, but please take care.
I know people that have lost digits before playing with fireworks. So, Sink, thanks, babe.
Thank you. See you, Brian.
It's almost like, and Brian, great job today, man, on our guest list. It's almost like Darwin Day or something. I don't know, like Natural Selection Day. Is that Darwin? The whole firework thing is. Trust me, I've made my fair share of homemade bombs, as I told you. We made one with a PVC pipe one time. It's pretty dangerous. You did stuff like that today. We did that in college one time. You did stuff like that today. Blow a hole in the ground at like 4 o'clock in the morning. You know what happens to you? Sheet. Till we meet again, love you. Appreciate you. My friends at TLD Logistics online at tldlogistics.com. Tomorrow is Independence Day from the morons. So we're going to have fun tomorrow at the expense of those that, well, got rich at your expense. So it'll be humorous, sublime, divine. Spread the word. Tell a friend. They'll tell 2 friends, and so on and so on. To my friends at YouTube, like and subscribe. Hit that like button. It helps other people find us and focus on us and prepare us to be better and better and better. Iron sharpens iron. Till we meet again, for Bri, for Sink, from our friends at TLD Logistics, for all those who appeared today on the show and all that didn't. Shout out Kendall Rogers. Shout out to Watson Brown. Shout out to Eris Extra Dry. Shout out to Exy. I hope X jumps in here tomorrow with us. That'd be comical if he could come in and share some Butchie Boy recruiting stories. Oh, Butchie Boy. That'd be fun tomorrow. Till we meet again, peace. I love you. Let's do it again tomorrow, shall we? On the answer line. All right, let's see here. Oh, man. Ugh.
.259 Powell, Knoxville.
Today's going to be a sit back and relax and let Jesse rob this train kind of Wednesday as we're live with you on your Basilio show. It is a Wednesday, and a Wednesday unlike any other, because today on the program, you give me some video over there once we get a chance. Yeah, people got to see my pretty face. My friends at YouTube, they got to see my pretty face today. But today on the program, we got a lot. Kendall Rogers is going to join us on the other side. We're going to talk to him about what's going on with the Tennessee Vols. Baseball. Today is the day that the portal closes in baseball. It has been one incredible week in Tennessee football recruiting in a 5-day period. The Vols have picked up 7 commitments. There's more on the way. X is going to be by, our recruiting analyst, today at half past our hour, something like that, once we get done with Kendall. Then Watson Brown. The question for Watson Brown is, now that we're getting close with Joey football, how does this thing play out? When does Tennessee name a starting quarterback? Do they take 2 into the Syracuse game? How would he handle this fist for his dime and his dance floor?
We should hear something.
Should hear
He's
something.
muted
what,
himself.
Bri? Should hear something. What, Bri? Oh, I muted me? Hang on a second here. You boys didn't even hear my intro. Guys, I'm all over it. But, Brian, thank you for telling me you were muted. You have no idea how good today's intro was. You guys have to go back and re-listen to it. But Dr. Sean Sinclair's here, and you just heard Brian Hartman's voice. Gents, are you guys fired up, focused, and prepared to get to Kendall Rogers here off the top? As Tennessee continues to make waves, Cinco, don't you dare doubt Tony Vols like you did last week, or that was me, on the Landon Mack situation. Don't you dare doubt Tony Vols.
Would never doubt Tony Vols, my man.
Let me
never
tell you,
doubt Tony B.
Let me tell you how in the moment Tony Vols is right now. There was a huge card over the weekend in UFC. And I was texting him during that card. And he ghosted me because he's a clown. He never does that. And today he comes up for air and he says, hey, man, I haven't had a chance to breathe. And the portal closes tonight and catch up, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, look, man, you're ghosting me, bro. I'm in my feels over here. Cinco, how exciting is it when you think about the football team adding a living, breathing playmaker on offense, this Legend Bay kid? Hopefully they can hold on to him, but even the credibility of having him on your list for a while, even if that's how it plays out, and who knows how it plays out with any of these kids. But what an exciting time in football recruiting, and then what the work Tony's doing in the portal. It's really, really fun to watch this stuff.
Well, baseball, it is fun. It's if I didn't have so much faith and trust in Tony Vols, I would be a little concerned from a number standpoint, simply because it just seems like there's been a mass exodus of players, albeit Dylan Loy is the only one I can think of that's a key contributor. No offense to anyone else. Benke, however you pronounce it, forgive me. You know, he flashed a couple times as a freshman last year after injury, not so much. And then a lot of guys that were just kind of guys. I hope them to have great careers wherever they go. But you got the draft coming up. Some of the redshirt guys that were here last year have moved on that we never really heard of. And so I'm kind of excited to see how he's going to construct this roster, because for right now, you know, we got the draft. It just looks like we're at a low numbers, but maybe that's the way. And I trust 100% Elander, Vitello, Kivett, all those guys over there, Frank Anderson.
Well, the question becomes, what happens, right? What happens with regards to, they got to add some left-handed arms. I'm here to tell you, they're going to. I predict a loud boom here coming up. We'll see what happens.
Well, I'll say this: I'm sure there's others, but I know for a fact that you are tied in to the baseball information, and you have not been wrong. You have been 50-50 on a guy in years past, and it didn't work out because of money somewhere else. But having you say that, that gets me really excited, because you are rarely wrong with your baseball information.
Those 5 A5, this 5-7 commitment thing in 5 days for football is great to see, man.
It is. It's it's, again, I'm not a Debbie Downer here. What I've learned now is I'm going to wait on until signing day. Because for one, I've seen it in Josh Heupel's system. A lot of these quote-unquote 3-star guys that get criticized on the chat boards, they quickly become 4-stars toward the end of the year.
Yep.
And then everybody, nobody takes back their panic, takes back their criticism. They have a track record of identifying quality players. I was encouraged to listen to yesterday talk about the young man out of Baylor yesterday. Mm-hmm. And how he was kind of, if I heard that right, he was kind of hidden down there, and and they expect him to be fantastic. That's great. And then also is another reason I kind of do that is because we saw last year with Florida and some other people, there are people that get desperate and break the bank on some of these guys. So I'm not forecasting any kind of doom and gloom.
Yeah.
It is nice to see some trends. Means we all want to be wanted. We all want to have, stacked players on our team. And real quick, I went back and looked at the roster yesterday. You know what? there are a lot of very good prospects on this team. They may not have done it yet, but I was just going up and down, and there aren't a whole lot of. They haven't proven it yet, nor they have proven to be duds. But there are that roster's stacked with high value recruits, and it's going to be imperative that these guys develop this roster. But the cupboard's not bare.
A lot of kids. Listen, these kids out there that are firing me up, get me talking about 10-2 and this, that, and the other. And it's July, and I'm ready to do it. It's hot outside. Let's feel good about it. Cinco now getting pulled into the glass is more than half full, maybe 3/4 full, maybe 4/5 full for all we know. Kendall Rogers on the other side will join us on our TLD Logistics Hotline on our Champs Wednesday, presented by our friends at Rather and Kittrell. And listen, I'm going to tell you right now, Tennessee and LSU look like they're going to trade, and you don't know how it works out because you're in a tournament sport. But those two teams are going to share the co-marquee at the very top of that sport for a while, until somebody shows me otherwise. And it might work out that the team that's not in Omaha is the one that gets the leg up, because Tennessee is going off right now in the transfer portal. And they're not done. Like I wrote today in the blog, they're not. There might be 75% done, but they're not done. The last 25% could be the difference. And it's on that note we take a brief time out. Kendall Rogers of D1 Baseball on the other side, and then X will mark the spot later on in the hour, talking Tennessee football recruiting. Watson Brown, presented by Simpson's Meats, coming up on the other side of our second hour, I should say, as we continue with more. I'll learn to speak, and we'll do all that after this.
Are you searching for a great local coffee? I'm Billy with Grade A Grounds. You can buy our freshly roasted coffee online and support a good cause with every sip. Great coffee, greater causes. Visit our website today, gradeagrounds.com.
Living Vol fan, we're on the countdown to kickoff, and that means you need to make sure you are game ready. Head to Alumni Hall to get this season's Tennessee sideline apparel. Nike, Columbia, Peter Millar, and more. Shop top brands for the entire family. Hats, Yeti, tailgating gear, and some. If it's for the Tennessee fan, Alumni Hall has it. Spend $150 and get $10 in Hall cash rewards. Shop at alumnihall.com. Download their app or shop any of their locations in Knoxville, Murfreesboro, or the Tri-Cities. Alumni Hall, the ultimate shopping destination for Vol fans.
It's the hottest postgame show on the planet. Garza Law, fifth quarter fan reaction. Fan reaction. As soon as the final gun sounds, we're live.
Tony Basilio, and we are live once again with Chad Stockton of FC Alliance. And Chad, you're out there on the field, 100 strong here in Knoxville. Talk to me. What's been going on with FC Alliance now that the weather's heating up?
We're out here for the first night of the boys' tryouts. We have over 400 kids that'll be here tonight. So a lot of exciting times right now for us. Our club team started at U9 and we go all the way through U19. We have over 1,000 kids that come from Chattanooga from the Tri-Cities that make all our teams and make this club team what it is today. So we're excited about it. We finished the younger kids a couple of weeks ago. We just finished the girls last night, and now we're on to our older boys program as we speak right now.
And we're blowing and going in the Tri-Cities. Tell me about it.
We started FC Alliance North 1 year ago, and coming off the first year, we are the largest, most competitive club up in the Tri-Cities area. We just finished our tryouts last night. Looks like right now we will be well over 400 kids for the upcoming season. So great things happening up there. We've put our boys into some really good regional leagues. So we're excited about what the future holds for them and also our girls programs.
If you want more information, check them out at fcallianceknox.org. That's fcallianceknox.org. Chad Stockton, keep growing the beautiful game here in East Tennessee.
Absolutely. Thanks, Tony.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Tony Basilio along with the great Mark Griffin. And we're here to talk about our friends at Performance Medicine. And Griff, their slogan, stay educated, stay healthy. That's you.
Wow. I really like to think that, Tony, and I'd like to give Dr. Rogers a lot of credit because I definitely want to stay educated and healthy, and knowing that he's putting the time and effort in to make sure of my care, I want to encourage your listeners to put the time to learn and become educated and get to know Dr. Rogers and see if it can help with your health as well.
And there's a really, really easy way to do that. In fact, they've got their own YouTube channel. You can see Dr. Rogers for himself with his staff. It's called The Performance Medicine Show over at the Performance Medicine channel over on YouTube. Also, more information at performancemedicine.net. To our friends in North Knoxville, a brand new location over in Fountain City, now accepting patients. So many ways to reach Dr. Rogers. And like they say, stay educated, stay healthy. Performance Medicine, online, performancemedicine.net. TB here for Cedar Bluff Plumbing, a live and local company that's been serving our area for over 32 years and counting, because every customer counts, and I mean no job is too small. Cedar Bluff Plumbing just voted #1 by City View magazine because multiple plumbing experts are on call to serve all your plumbing needs. Chances are there'll be a plumber in your area when you call, and they won't send some salesman to your house. You're going to get a high character, trustworthy, highly trained plumber who will serve you, not like some of these guys that look like they came off the set of America's Most Wanted. Cedar Bluff Plumbing is Basilio tested and approved and will go the extra mile for you because Chucky Mack is a servant of the people and my consigliere to the throne, celebrating over 32 years of serving living volunteers. Cedar Bluff Plumbing. Call 588-4448. That's 588-4448. Cedar Bluff Plumbing.
Attention Vol fans, are you tired of complicated, clunky fleet technology that makes your job harder? Say goodbye to frustration and hello to Connexial, your hometown partner in logistics. It's time to rev up your operations with next level fleet management from Connexial. Connexial is here to keep your business on track with technology that works as hard as you do. Our game-changing ELD gives you more than just hours of service. With AI-powered dash cameras and real-time asset tracking, you'll have eyes on the road, cargo, and your fleet from anywhere, anytime. And the best part, our friendly US-based customer support team is just one phone call away. No more long wait times or frustrating tech talk. Just real people with real solutions. With Connexial, you get a professional team you can trust and easy-to-use products that keep you on the road. What do you say, Tony?
I'm ready. Make the smart move and call Connexial today.
865-888-6920. Learn more at Connexial.com. That's Koneixial.com. Drive life with Connexial and go Vols.